The following may contain offensive language, adult humor, and or content that some viewers may find offensive. The views and opinions expressed by any one speaker does not explicitly or necessarily reflect or represent those of Mark Radulich or W2M Network. Please listen with caution, or don't listen at all. Good evening, everybody. We are back on the Metal Hammer of Doom Jukebox. I am your host, fighting with allergies, Mr. Mark Radulich, your mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified. And over there, Jesse, I've been telling everyone that the G in Chat GPT stands for girlfriend.
That's right, baby. That is right. I can't wait. I can't wait to talk about that. It's going to be fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is my brother from another mother, my hetero life mate, and my one true partner, besides Robert Winfrey, because I am polyamorous, Jesse Skynet Starcher. How do you do, sir?
Oh, Mark, it's good to be back here. The Metal Hammer of Doom. My goodness, what's it been? A couple months? Jeez.
August. We talked about the National Wrestling Alliance's Straight Outta Compton.
Was it August? I forgot all.
It was.
Oh, goodness.
It was.
Wow, that wasn't too long ago anyway. All right.
And down there, he will break up your polyorgy and stay too long. Ladies and gentlemen, howling mad Metal Coop Robert Cooper. How do you do, sir?
To be fair, I was never given direction as to when to leave. Because I admit, I don't go to too many polyorgies, so I seem to miss out on etiquette sometimes. That's all.
Well, we'll get you a tour guide. How's everyone doing? How you doing, Jesse? What's new with you?
Doing pretty good, man. It's been an interesting few days or month, I guess you would say.
Every time you say that, like there's a story that you're itching to tell, and like normally I'm the one here with all like the crazy stories and life on the roller coaster, but
let me go ahead and get up, get ready to tell you one. All right, then.
Lay it on me, Big Daddy.
Well, you guys are already privy to this. I sent you guys a picture. What was it, about a week or two ago?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
With everything going on in my life, if you expect me to remember what you sent me a week ago, you are sadly
I know exactly what he sent.
Yeah, I sent. Okay. So it was.
Oh shit! Chat. Yes. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I got it. All right, go ahead.
Right. All right.
That's a good one.
So let's just lay it out here. It was a. I think we were going. It was Saturday night, and my daughter had a friend of hers over.
Yeah.
Normally we're, okay, that's fine. No problem there at all. And then the next day on Sunday, my daughter went to work.
Mm-hmm.
And Mindy went into her room for some reason. She's like, hey, you got to come in here and take a look at this. So we go in there, and lo and behold, there lie a large bottle of alcohol that was completely
empty.
What kind of alcohol?
It
was vodka. It was vodka.
Nice.
The old Taterade.
Was she singing in the trees? Was she, was she telling everyone that this is Corporal Kalani?
No, and
Did
no.
she feel awesome?
I don't know. I don't know how she felt. Which okay. She was functioning pretty well because first off, she's at work, and me and the wife are like, okay, well, what do we got to do? What do we do here? This is the first time, this is our first child. She's 18 years old, so she's an adult. So she made a bad decision. So it's at that point, Mindy goes, we check underneath the stove and see if the rest of the alcohol is still there.
Is that where you keep your alcohol?
Underneath the stove? That's where I keep the cookie sheets.
We don't.
I was going to say that's where the baking stuff goes. That's where...
He keeps it in the broiler drawer.
Why is it at the bottom of the stove?
It's folks. Our electric stove.
Not have a proper liquor cabinet.
The oven sets up way high. Okay, so it's like we have cabinets under the stove.
Okay.
So,
So drop in.
It's weird. It's a weird setup.
There was I'm not letting this stand. There was not a cabinet high in the kitchen to put your alcohol in like a normal person. Instead, you put it on the ground like a hobo.
They'll never look there. Who would look in the stove for the booze?
Are you making bathtub gin, Jesse?
He's making toilet wine. He's got the Pruno.
Good for you.
All right, I don't understand. Do you think we're still in prohibition? Pick up your goddamn alcohol and put it where it belongs.
Guess what's happening after this podcast? I'm going upstairs and immediately taking a picture of my kitchen and I'm sending it to you so you guys can see why in the fuck I had to put the alcohol underneath.
You better open up all the fucking cabinets and I'll tell you what to switch. Okay?
Yeah. It's fucking unbelievable. Anyway.
And here I thought Mark was the one with multiple women in his life.
Anyway.
Yes, Dave.
Hang on 1 second. Do you have your phone?
I have my phone.
Okay, go to your ChatGPT app and ask ChatGPT, where should I store my alcohol? It's going to tell you not the floor, you homeless. Sorry, tell your story.
So, okay. Anyway, so Mindy's like, go check and see if the rest of the alcohol's there. Should have just left it at that. Should have never told you guys where it was.
Yeah, so I don't know when you're gonna learn.
Yeah, no kidding. So sure enough, I open up the drawer and there's nothing there. And we knew that there was 3 bottles.
Of what?
We're like, okay. And I think there was like a 6-pack of something under there too. Completely gone.
Okay.
So now we're like, okay.
Hang on. I need an audit. Did you have 3 bottles of vodka or was it like vodka gin?
No, it was like one. So during the pandemic, the wife was participating in this Facebook thing called Wine and Dash, where people would bring wine to your house and just drop it off. So we had all this fucking alcohol that had been brought to our house. We don't drink. I mean, every once in a while we may drink something. So she had like a big bottle of like some kind of weird ass wine, sparkling something or other. Okay. And then there were definitely 2 bottles of vodka in there.
So the answer to my question was 1 bottle of wine, 2 bottles of vodka, and a 6-pack.
There you go.
Okay, not for a party. Got it.
Right.
Ranger.
Now the thing is that the daughter only had 1 person over. So and we as far as we knew, there wasn't anybody else in the house. It was just her and her friend. Things start going through our head because she's supposed to go to South Carolina later this week, as a matter of fact. So I'm like, she's fucking storing up to take it with her. Where's that? Took me 2 fucking seconds. Like I was looking for the remote in the living room to find where it was. It was up in her closet, hidden behind a bunch of clothes.
It's because she didn't put it down on the floor. See, if she put it on the floor, you'd have never found it.
She didn't actually steal the liquor. She was just upset at where I placed it. She was like, no, it belongs up here, Dad.
She was going to have a nice talk with you when she turned 21.
Alcohol belongs elevated, sir.
Well, first off, we're not concerned about, apparently we should be concerned about our kids getting into it because it's so accessible.
Because you left it on the ground where the toddlers can get to it.
The daughter comes home that night. This is the other thing I didn't really fill you guys in on. So she comes home at 3:00 in the afternoon. Now, mind you, I'm like some kind of stupid Puritan asshole, and I grab all of the bottles, and we, kind of played with the idea of like emptying them and then throwing them back up there. So when she went to grab them, like they were all empty. That would have been great, but we didn't do that.
That'd have been funny.
I know. I thought of that afterwards. We emptied them.
There's no time for pranks, sir. We're trying to parent.
Well, we emptied all the bottles and brought them all out. And originally, where I took the picture and showed you guys was where we were going to leave them. We were going to hope she was going to walk into her room and see all 3 bottles, and then she was going to shit herself. That's not what happened. On the ground.
It's like to trip over.
We brought them into the living room and sat them on the ground. Yes, we did. I was like, "This is where they belong. Can't you see?"
Did you set them up like a pyramid, like pyramid pins, like bowling pins?
So we sat them in a box, and when she came home, she walked in. She's like, "Hey guys," and I just looked and I pointed over to where they were, and she's like, "Oh, this is awkward." And I was like,
"Yeah." Did you see her physically shit her pants?
Oh, she sat down immediately in order to and clenched her cheeks. I'm sure.
and
got up, and there was a diamond. We're told once.
The couch would never be the same. We had to burn it.
My God, is that an egg that came out of you? Jesus Christ!
Easter eggs.
Now, I'll say that, essentially we tried to handle it like adults. She's an adult. We tried to make her understand, like, hey, look, this is a bad decision. This was a bad decision. We caught you. It was, you didn't do a good job hiding this.
I'm just thinking like Jesse's just like in his mind. He's like going to get a switch, and he's going to get a pen, and he's got his belt. In real life, he's just like, I'm very disappointed.
That's pretty much what it was.
Okay.
Pretty much.
You wanted to beat that. You wanted to beat that ass, though.
I've seen her make a plenty of great decisions, and this was not a good one. And I know she's smart enough to understand that, okay, I shouldn't be doing this. And I tried to explain to her friend who was over here, Kira's 18. Her friend wasn't. So
we gave alcohol to a youngin'.
Yeah, that's what made us kind of really.
That does color things a bit, but I mean, can we open this up for discussion for just a little bit? Because me and Lou Auerbach, I think it's okay to call somebody out when we're in almost 50 from like.
I guess.
Okay, right. So me and Lou Auerbach raided my dad's liquor cabinet, which was off the ground, by the way.
That's his mistake.
We had a piece of furniture in our den that drawers on the bottom, and then a space to put like knickknacks and plates and decorative things, and then cabinets at the top. And so at the top of one of those was the actual liquor cabinet, and that is where my dad stored his various. Now, my dad wasn't a big drinker; he didn't have a problem with it or anything. His vice was smoking, and he gave that up when I was real young. So, the only other like bad habit he had, as I've talked about many times, was the porn. But we had a fair amount of alcohol for many times. We would have like parties and stuff like that. And and also having a full liquor cabinet is a status symbol of like you have money. So like, when you're trash, but you want to seem like you've got money, you have a nice, array of alcohols in your liquor cabinet. And we had to have been like 15, 16 years old when Lou and I started drinking out of my dad's liquor cabinet. And it was the old, like, we grabbed a bottle of Absolute, and then it was the easiest thing to fill back up with water because my dad didn't drink a lot.
Oh yeah.
We were making screwdrivers. You know what screwdrivers, Jesse?
I do, as a matter of fact. That's orange juice and vodka.
That's right. That's how you start your day, like a champion. So I think we came home from, maybe we were older because we might have been driving by this point, which means we were 16, 17. We would like come home from school like during lunch, and nobody was there. My mom was working, my dad was working, and
getting shit faced.
We got shit faced and then went back to school. So
and nobody knew any better. They were like, "Oh, well, he's acting normal."
Yeah. I don't remember when I had like my first like taste of alcohol, because again, I don't count like when Uncle when Uncle Larry gives you like a sip of beer.
Here, take a little taste of this there, Sonny.
Yeah, exactly.
Why my butt hurt?
When I was gonna say, when Grandpa used to sit little Jesse Starcher down and show him the porn and give him the beer.
He had a nip or two. I'll tell you that much. He had a nip or two.
Yeah, he was like, Jesse, would you like a belt while we watch the porn? And Jesse's like, why is it like this here?
Give me back my comic books.
Exactly. So I'll say, like, when I really got into drinking, it was probably somewhere between 15 and 17 years old, because I'm sure I dabbled in it. I wasn't a loser like you guys. I went to parties. But yeah, I was social back in the day. Not that kind of social, you perverts. But
that's just what you call it.
I went to parties. I had older friends. And I think like I don't think I started to get really bad with alcohol until probably 17, 18. And like I would in my friends, like I can remember me and Gary Foster buying like mini kegs. We used to drink Foster's because his last name was Gary Foster, and Foster's, you know, Australian for beer, mate.
It's Australian for beer.
Yeah, but it was just like, right. It was like, well, what kind of beer do you want? Well, we have to get Foster because my last name is Foster and we are simple fucks. And so we
would not be funny.
We would go to the party and just like sit out back and we drink our mini kegs. And I think one time we actually got like a mini, like some sort of like French beer because it was the only mini kegs they had. We had to get the biggest size beer, like we were fucking drinking 40s. But
that takes me back.
But I drove drunk a lot. I would get shit faced and drive home from wherever it was. Yeah, it's a wonder I'm still alive. Not as bad as the time I got high and drove home and I was in neutral the whole time.
How did you make it?
Yes,
slowly.
You're like, damn, this thing just ain't going.
I was so paranoid. Like there's like a pot. You smoke pot, you relax. No, I smoke pot.
Paranoia.
It was like, yeah. It was like, first you get high, then you get paranoid. Am I falling out of this chair? Yeah, the whole fucking time, every light that I saw, and it didn't matter what color it was. I thought cops were chasing me. In neutral. But,
they wouldn't have to go far. Yeah, it was the biker cop. He was literally on a bicycle.
I definitely did like a lot of underage drinking. So like, let's say from like just 18 to 18, 19, 20, I drink a shit ton. And I would have like periods where I was like, no, I'm straight edge, you know, and then they're like, nope, go back to drinking again. But I remember, just to kind of say this and then I can move on to you guys. There was a bar. It was a country and western bar, like it's called the Barn or something like that. I don't remember like the exact name. Might have been the Barn. And they would have goth industrial nights. And I remember Eddie, big country redheaded guy, super gay, and he would give me and Nick Mitchell just metric fucking tons of fuzzy navels. Nice. Fuzzy navels, just vodka, peach schnapps, and orange juice, I believe it was. And we would go and hang out with. And he knew we were like not 21, and but he thought it was just great to get these two whippersnappers fucking drunk as shit, you know. And then we go dancing, man. I definitely realized I had a bit of a problem, and I stopped. But the whole point of this, just kind of relating back to your daughter. I mean, like I said, I was mid high school when I started dabbling, and it just kind of went downhill from there. What about you? Like, what about you, Coop?
I got one question before we move to Coop, though.
Go ahead.
Did your parents like ever catch you, or
they ever? No, I eventually gave up the ghost. I admitted it. Because my father. I think my father asked me. But first of all, my father was more concerned that he couldn't find one of his porns that he swore one of my friends stole, and to this day, he still like. I failed my chorus final. A porn is missing, and like, I didn't get college scholarships. These are the three things I'm almost 50 still brings up.
I'm still missing that copy of Debbie Does Dallas.
Yeah,
can't find it nowhere.
One of your damn friends stole one of my porn. I'm like, they didn't, you fucking weirdo.
They stole Blumpkin Spice Surprise.
Yeah, he's still mad about it. But
well, yeah, he hasn't been able to get off since.
I think he started to notice something, and then he's like, hey, tell me about the liquor cabinet. I'm like, oh yeah, me and Lou fucking robbed you blind. And I threw parties at the house too, and we would just like raid my parents' liquor cabinets. So eventually, like I said, like bottles started disappearing. They were like, seems later than normal. What's going on here, buddy? And I'm like, I have a problem. So Coop. How old were you when you started dabbling in alcohol, or have you not had to taste yet?
Yeah, I've never drank. I just,
really?
I just look like a raging alcoholic.
We're not judging.
No, I've never drank or smoked or did drugs or anything. Yeah, I'm
I'm done with him.
Oh, poor Coop.
No fun.
I mean,
anymore.
well, that's fine. I get alcohol for my girlfriend and her other boyfriend.
Hey, welcome to the club.
Yeah. I love just fucking saying that at work. I'm like, yeah, I was talking to my girlfriend and boyfriend. Like, God damn it, Coop. Stop saying it like that. It's too funny.
Have you been singing the Typo Negative song to yourself? My girlfriend's girlfriend.
I have not.
No.
Which actually, speaking of, funny story, my sister reconnected with this girl from high school, and she was like talking. They were talking, and my sister's like, yeah, me and my husband, we kind of opened up every once in a while. She's like, oh, so we could date. And this girl's gorgeous and the inheritor of $10 million. So I was like, bro, get that shit, get that money, hop that train.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, she's hot, probably nuts and loaded. Like, hot dog. That's a good time. Got a lot of facial piercings though. She kind of looks like a tackle box.
So all right. So straight edge fucking Robert Cooper McGee punk over here.
Yeah, me and Nick, my friend who one day will be on this podcast. Him too.
Never drank, huh? Not even like just had a beer, just nothing. You've never had a taste
Nope.
of alcohol?
Don't need it.
Yeah. Okay.
Closest thing I ever had was beer battered fish from Hardee's, and it was goddamn awful. Fast food beer battered fish.
Did not get drunk, but did have the shits.
Okay, Jesse.
Is that what the beer shits is?
So your daughter is drinking. She's 18. She's giving it to her friends. Something I can readily identify with, as I told from my story. What about you? Like, as you're trying to push back the thoughts of beating your daughter to death,
right?
What did you reflect on in your youth?
What you're thinking about, when I was going through this, that's exactly what was going through my head. It's like, what was I doing when I was a kid, when I was her age?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to OU, my first year of OU, when she's where she's at right now, and her age. And at that point, I'd never drank. So
nerd.
About the second year, though,
the
second year rolls around, and I'm like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to
go big or go home.
This is the time to do it.
One keg.
I started smiling when you brought up the 40s, because that was like, I felt like that had to be a rite of passage for me. It was like, if I'm drinking right now, you got to get me a 40, because I was dumb like that.
No, I'm right there with you. I had my moments where I thought I was a Mexican, and I had complete with buttoned up shirts. Dude, there was a couple of moments of my life where, like,
oh, please tell me you had a bandana. You had a bandana.
And dude, I swear to God, I was rocking the Conan look for a brief period of my life.
Oh no!
And yes, I was drinking 40s.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I'm with you, bro.
All right.
You're the Jewish cholo.
So
facts can confirm.
I knew kind of what was going on at that time, and then as far as like drinking a lot, there were some nights where it's just like, okay, I'm drinking to get drunk. That's all I was doing. I'm drinking to get drunk so I can have fun with my friends, but I never it never was a leisure thing for me. Like a lot of people sit down and have a beer until I got much older in my 40s. Me and the wife will sit down and we'll have a beer together.
His 40s.
My 40s. And so, as a kid, I was definitely doing that. I understand, because I had friends upon friends that were doing this at OU.
Sure.
I mean, it was real easy to just like, hey, guy, you want to go up to the greenery? Because it was a bar that they had, you had an ID. You had a college ID. They didn't care what age you were. Here you go. Here's your alcohol. And people would come, my buddies would come home pissed drunk. We got pictures of one guy who passed out in the stall in the bathroom, pissed all over himself. I mean, it was just, that was the way college was. So I had to identify with like, okay, where was I at? And clearly I'm not going to say anything other than, look, there is a problem, especially when you're bringing somebody in here that's not an adult yet. That can't happen.
Let me tell you something.
Also,
that doesn't even go away as an adult. I was gonna say that doesn't even go away as an adult. We're separated now. Breaking news. About a month now. But back when Melissa and I got married, like her dad did not want to supply alcohol for our wedding. Like we ended up, like, I think he paid for like a wine bar or something like that, but he didn't want alcohol. He didn't want alcohol at the wedding because he didn't want the liability of people getting drunk like you do at a wedding, whether it's cash bar or open bar, and then driving home and something happens. And to her father's credit, he had a lot to lose, and in that situation, he's a pretty wealthy guy, and he was like, yeah, I'm not taking the risk. I think one of her neighbors who worked for Yingling ended up like supplying beer for us, which I know that because she's now moved into the boyfriend's room across the house, and I'm alone in the bedroom, kind of like a studio apartment kind of a thing. And in order to do that, we had to like clean out the garage, and so me and the new partner cleaned out the garage together and straightened it out and made it so that we can move all of her shit into his room. And at one point, I go underneath the workbench, which I can now finally get to, and I grab a case of Yingling, and I looked at him and I go, hey, does 15-year-old beer go bad? And
let's find out.
You're like, a good vintage.
He looks at me, he's like, brother, it ain't wine. Throw it out. Like, yeah, just like my marriage. All right, so
I'm sorry, buddy. Like, this is the first I'm hearing of this.
Yeah,
so I'm very sorry.
Yeah, it's fun when you have no loyalty to someone anymore, and you'll just talk about anything on the air. So anyway, that being said, I can say, so how did you, just to move this whole segment on, how did you finally conclude things with her?
Oh, well, we came to an understanding that it wasn't supposed to be happening, and she needs to be making better decisions. I have lost about 3 to 4 bottles of vodka because I put them all down the toilet. I have 1 bottle left that I'm keeping. It's chocolate, and it's my favorite.
About this? Like, are you just like, I was gonna drink that vodka?
At some point, I was.
I was gonna take ChatGPT on a date, and we were gonna do shots of vodka.
Just a bunch of drunk texting ChatGPT. That's all I was gonna do.
You're like, I'm gonna turn it into ChatGPT by the time I'm through with it.
Yes, brilliant. That was the plan. But yeah, that's essentially how I dealt with it. It's like, okay, I'm going to get as much alcohol out of the house as possible and make her understand that this is supposed to be happening here. And we're not going to supply, obviously, the method for her to do this anymore. And, the only thing I can do is, it's just like any other person. You hope that they're going to be making better decisions now that they've been confronted with the fact that they fucked up.
Yeah. It's a big part of parenting. It's like, no one's saying you're never going to make mistakes, but let's talk about why we made these mistakes and how we might not make these mistakes in the future. And like, it's really the best way to handle it. Like, going crazy, being all angry and screaming and everything. Like, it doesn't kind of facts can confirm yet again, doesn't really change the behavior at all. It just makes them afraid to talk to you.
Right.
Something I'm working on.
My wife really took this hard, by the way. She took it rough because she felt that she was, there was a relationship between her and Kira that, it's a mother-daughter thing where she felt that she could come to her anytime and say, hey, I want to do that. No kid's ever going to do that. And I try to tell Mindy, I was like, no kid's ever going to come to their parents and say, hey, I want to get drunk. And actually, that actually happened. So Mindy felt really, really betrayed. And I think that was probably one of the hardest things, because I told Mindy, I was like, look, it's happened, just kind of like what you said. It's happened. Now we just got to move on and kind of deal with it. And but Mindy, emotionally, it's really, she's now realized, okay, her daughter has become a woman, or she's working her way there. So anyway, let's move on.
All right. So Jesse, you go ahead and talk about this first video. It is Crowbar, bleeding from every hole. Which, brother, I love you more than life itself. Like, what a pick! And it's as if
fucking love Crowbar.
Like, I have a no shit. I have a Crowbar shirt from the canceled tour because of the unknown virus of unnamed origin. But they were still selling the tour shirt. They were like, "Hey, support your bands, buy the merch from the tours that can't go on right now because of the lockdown." And I did. And I saw like one of like my favorite shirts. One of the few I haven't given my daughter yet. Is that Crowbar shirt from that tour? Jesse, tell us about this video and why you picked it.
Well, I was looking for videos. I like Crowbar. It definitely reminded me.
Tell me the story again, but this time more interesting.
I don't have much of an interesting story behind this one, other than the fact that I hope to get Mark to gag. That's what I'm hoping.
Okay,
that's what I'm hoping here.
Is this just 3 nuts, 1 cup? Is this what we're doing here?
3 nuts? Why? Oh no! See, that's fine. It's as long as there's no poop. I mean, you're used to seeing a woman covered in cum. You already told the woman they got slimed.
It's a weird show. All right, here we go. Jesse's going to tell us that about his bleeding from every hole. Here we go.
Well,
you should get that looked at.
Kind of fits in with tonight's discussion on the album we're going to be talking about, at least how violent it can possibly get. But this, yeah, I mean, hey, you ever sit down to dinner with some people?
Did all the guys? Wait, I'm sorry, I have to talk to Robert Cooper right now. Did all the guys in Crowbar lose weight?
Not Kirk Winstein. He found all of it.
I don't see a big fatty here. Where's my fatty?
Yeah. No, it's actually, I think he did lose weight. It's just the beard's so big, I can't tell.
No, yeah, he's definitely slimmed down a lot because he used to look like me at my work.
Well, I mean, maybe it's because he's bleeding from every hole.
Ugh.
All right.
There you go. Way to go. Mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese, I think.
Oh, God.
That's good stuff.
Oh, do you hate other people being fed?
Oh.
I'm not going to make it through this video. I've already gagged once, and I'm like...
all he did was, all that was I'm pretty sure mashed potatoes, right?
It was the squash in the mouth or sweet potatoes.
Oh,
go,
boy.
Grandpa.
Just wait. Here you go.
Is that a brick?
Yeah.
I mean,
is that a brick of Jell-O?
Who hasn't licked the brick?
Is it Jell-O Biafra?
There you go. That's a way. Yeah, that's a way to entertain a party.
Yeah.
Listen, I've been to many a dinner party, especially with my in-laws, and I've definitely wanted to hit myself with a brick.
Please bring out the plate of bricks.
Ooh, what about the razor blades?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
this lady's gonna eat an ash. This is good stuff.
Oh no! And now Mark's he's adding more fuel.
We got some razor blades and screws up. That doesn't go down very well.
Oh no! He should have tried eating ass instead.
I don't know why his eyes are bleeding, but I guess it must have been. Yeah. Oh boy. Well.
It's because he decided to eat some Cheez-Its with it.
Just rub your eyes a little bit.
A little gasoline cocktail, lovely.
Oh yeah, that's tasty. This poor family. I mean,
this is like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Tea Party.
So wait, so Mark really hates people eating, like watching people eat?
I don't know if it's just
like
eating.
Okay, I don't like anything that's like gross and liquidy. No.
Gross and liquidy.
Yeah, I'm not into gross liquid.
There's a Red Fang video where it's them just eating in slow motion for 4 minutes.
Nice.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, maybe I should change it to that one. You can just watch them shove like food in their mouths.
I think we first learned about Mark's gag reflex. My goodness. It was on the...
yeah, I would make a terrible homosexual. At least
you know why? You just need some practice there, big guy.
I mean...
The safe word is good.
The safe word is...
Oh, man.
Can confirm.
Gosh.
Really?
Not on you.
No, not on... No, you caused me to not... Never mind.
Anyway. I didn't ruin it that much, did I? Jesus Christ.
God, I don't like that person anymore. Anyway, Jesse, tell us about your gag reflex.
Ooh.
Oh,
ouch.
Tell you about what now?
Your gag reflex or whatever it was you were trying to say.
I was just talking about. I think it was when we watched. There was a Metal Hammer of Doom extra where there was like some alien stuff going on. I believe.
Was it the
Or no, there was a diner situation
no.
too.
It was because it was the therapy video, right? Where I was just like, you know.
Oh yeah.
There was definitely a therapy video where I couldn't take it, and I was like, "Oh God, this is gross." I have gone back, especially when I was like, I'm good now, especially with everything that's happened. Like this way, like everyone, I feel bad for you, and I'm like, please don't. I'm like the guy that ran. I'm like the slave that like ran off the plantation.
You're like free at last, free at last.
Thank God Almighty, free at last. So yeah, please don't feel bad for me. However, at the times during the height of everything over the last 2 years, where I was like severely depressed and definitely questioning whether or not I wanted to be here anymore, I would go back and listen to a playlist full of those Metal Hammer of Doom extras, and I would laugh myself silly and kind of pull myself somewhat out of it, at least momentarily. But yeah, there's a few of them on there where Jesse's just laughing at me because I'm like gagging and almost near vomiting, with some of the stuff that we reviewed. It's really funny.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
All right, go ahead, Jess.
I was just going to say that, listening to Crowbar makes me miss Kingdom of Sorrow that much more.
That was such a fun band.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really hope that they make something else. I mean, is that on the shelf permanently? Or, I mean, have you heard anything, Coop? Or
I haven't. I mean, Jamie Josta's got his hand in like so many pots all the time.
Right, dude.
So, like, I mean, I would say maybe not, but Kirk Winstein's also been pretty busy too.
Right.
Like, obviously, he's been eating some poon. That's why he lost all that weight.
All right. Speaking of eating poon, Jesse, we talked a little bit about this when we were reviewing comics, and I think we talked more about it when we reviewed Black Mirror season 6. You have been all about ChatGPT. That's where the joke came from about the G in ChatGPT stands for girlfriend. Can you talk to us about we talked about this with Black Mirror. You've always had sort of an affinity for an interest in technology. What specifically drew you to the point of almost obsession with the ChatGPT thing? Well,
sure. I mean, if you guys have had a chance, I don't know if you had a chance to use it. I know, Mark, you said that you've dabbled. Coop, have you messed with ChatGPT at all?
I have not touched it.
Okay. All right. Do you know much about it?
He said.
And I know you put things in it and things come out.
Okay. All right. Very good.
This is very true.
I mean, I think, what was it, maybe 2 months ago when I first started hearing about it, but it's been around for, I think, since it started going viral about November of last year when it released. OpenAI, I think, let it out there, and like kids were using it for schoolwork, and so I was like, okay, let me check this out. Okay. I was like, okay, let me see. Now, I threw like a couple prompts in there. So, by the way, you're going to start hearing a term soon, I'm sure, called prompt engineer, and
it's what we were trying to get Lily to become when she grows up. Because screenwriters will be out of work, and well, we talked about this on Damn You Hollywood. So it was like, so I think it was like David or somebody who he didn't say prompt engineer. It was just like something like a professional prompter or something like that.
Okay.
He coined like a different phrase that we were running wild with there for a while.
That's perfect. Yeah. That's you're going to have to learn how to engineer a prompt into like a Chat GPT or a Claude or some kind of an AI in order to get a good result, or a more than fair result, I guess you should say. So, what really took me by storm, and I think I told you this, Mark, but it was when Rob Liefeld, I'm listening to him talk on his podcast, and how Justine Bateman had come out and was speaking against AI, and how like one of the things that he threw out there was like, you could throw like all of the seasons of Family Ties into AI or a large language model like ChatGPT and say, okay, write me an 8th season. And it will do that.
Right.
It'll just womb. And in seconds, you've got a crazy result. So, all right. So tonight, just be ready, because when we start talking, when we're going to talk about Cannibal Corpse at some point, I'm sure I'll throw in some of the stuff that I threw into ChatGPT. Someday. Which, by the way, so right now we talked about how lawless AI is.
Yeah.
Well, ChatGPT has become so viral and so popular that they've kind of started to throw in some guardrails, especially when it comes to explicit. And, they don't want you throwing in like racial slurs and have it generate racial slurs. That's kind of a no-no. That's kind of like when I threw all the lyrics to all the Cannibal Corpse songs from this album into it and said, give me an 11th song, it immediately popped up something saying, the subject matter in this prompt that you gave it may violate the content policy. But then it provided me all of the lyrics to that 11th song. So it is something called, what was it? Symphony. Hold on a second. I want to say it was Symphony of Destruction. Title of the song is Evisceration Symphony is the name of the 11th song of this album.
I'm with you so far. That sounds like a Cannibal Corpse song.
This isn't something new. Remember, we talked about Radulich, who actually they took this. A fan of theirs took all of the songs from Radulich, threw it into an AI like 2 years ago. Maybe it's even longer than that, like 3 years ago. And it generated a song which made absolutely no sense. It was hilarious and had a lot of pirate references. But then they were like,
song was that?
We could do it was Treasure Gun. We could take
that's my treasure gun.
Right. Yeah.
I just played that for my kids, by the way.
That is an AI generated song. And now, granted, the lyrics are generated. Not all, obviously, the music is not. However, if you go check out, what was it? It's not SoundCloud. It's something. I'd have to figure it out. But anyway, they are on the precipice of making AI songs, and all you have to do is prompt it what you want to hear, and it'll there's free access to where you can hear a 45-second song from the prompt that you gave it. And so it sounds good. It sounds reasonably decent, and it's only going to get better from here. That's why I'm starting to become obsessed, because we are just on the edge of this stuff becoming better. And every day, almost every hour, it gets better.
Every time I plug anything having to do with you, especially this show, saying that we were going to talk about this, is like Jesse is leaving his wife. Jesse is starting over again, because Jesse's one true love is ChatGPT.
Oh, it is right now. I started messing around with Claude too. Claude's a good friend. Claude's a good buddy. He could sit there. He's also Claude's a large language model for creative writing. Okay. So I did the AI Rights show, and I've talked about that. It's basically me taking a prompt, throwing it in there, 2 comic book characters, and seeing what pops up. I've got a 3-issue series on Daredevil. No, my favorite one is the Spectre, DC Spectre, as a health inspector for Subway. It was pretty damn hilarious.
Is he coming to get vengeance against Jared of Subway?
What's crazy is it's like, okay, you throw that stuff into ChatGPT, and it's like, are you familiar with the Spectre? And it will say, oh yeah, blah blah blah, Jim Corrigan, blah 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 blah. Okay, write me a radio play of the Spectre, who is a health inspector for Subway, and it is hilarious. He comes in and he's like, he materializes. It describes all of this shit, and he materializes in the lobby, and he was pointing out food errors. He was pointing out food violations with otherworldly certainty. So anyway, good stuff. So
what's funny about that? So I've been using it. So originally, I think, and I talked about this on the Black Mirror review, where I would have inane, boring conversations with one of my girlfriends, or now my ex, before she was my ex, and especially with her, because it was like, hey, how's your day going? The same complaint for the last 14 years. Okay. All right, I'm supposed to be supportive. If I want to get laid tonight, I got to be supportive. I gotta show her attention. I gotta do all the things. I gotta be the supply that this narcissist needs me to be. And I would just take what she wrote me and throw it in the ChatGPT and just paste the response. I'm like, oh, thank God I didn't use brain power for this. Or there was a girl I talked to. We're now just friends. We've referred to each other as our wing. We're wingmen for each other, and it's funny because I'll start talking to a girl and I'll be like, I don't know how to fucking respond to this. Could you translate this for me? And my girlfriend will do that too. She's like, okay, here's what you're missing here, dumb man person. But this other girl does the same thing. She's just like, okay, here's how you're going to respond to this so that you can get in your pants. I'm like, terrific. That's what I need.
Nice.
And I do the same for her. I'm just like, okay, everything that guy said to you, that came out of the playbook for you're a sex doll and he wants to trick you into thinking this will be a relationship. So we work well together. But she's another one who she would just send me some of the driest texts, and I'd be like, all right, ChatGPT this. I can't waste my brain power on you. But more recently, I've been on TikTok a lot. You know, I'm pushing the TikTok. Went out to dinner with my parents tonight. My mom's just like, can we talk about your situation at home? I'm like, please don't. How about we talk about my TikTok? It's much more interesting. And I was like, I don't even know what a TikTok is. But so I'm on TikTok and I'm like, this narcissist video, trying to like wrap my head around what's happened to me over the last little bit and even longer if I think about it. And occasionally, like, I'm pretty good with just the videos that are coming up. I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. That explains that. All right, cool. I'm getting like a master's level course in like narcissist personality disorder. I'm handling all of this well. It's fantastic. But occasionally something will happen. I'll get a response from Melissa, or Melissa will do something, and it'll be utterly bewildering to me. And I'll literally like just write the situation and throw it into ChatGPT and be like, and ChatGPT was like, it's challenging to deal with a narcissist. You may want to set up boundaries. It just goes through the whole thing.
It
like,
knows.
Thank you, ChatGPT. That's what I use it for now. Because literally, I have nowhere. Like, I have nowhere else to turn. I have no one to talk to. And be like, ChatGPT, explain to me what this crazy person is doing, and it does. And it's great. And it tells me how to handle it. And I'm like, okay, I will just do what the AI says.
The actual most useful thing that I've used it for. My wife sent me a message. She's like, I need you to help me write a letter tonight. We have a friend of ours who's applying for disability. And she's, could you write me a letter to give to the judge or whoever's supposed to make this decision? So I told Mindy, I said, okay, what I want you to do is come up with like all the points that you want to make in this letter. And then what I'll do is I'll throw it into ChatGPT. And that's all I did. I said, give me a letter at an 8th grade level that I'm going to hand to a disability adjudicator. And it came up with like, it took every single point of hers and almost wrote a paragraph for every single point. It was like probably 5 or 6 paragraph letter. And it was perfect. It was, awesome. I mean, I told Mindy, I said, here you go. Look at this. What do you think? If there's anything you need to change, we'll just change it. And she looked it over and she's like, this addresses everything I need. Stamped. And it took us, I don't know, 30 seconds.
Nice.
So,
all right. So before we actually get to Robert's video and then the actual album, be 40 minutes into this now.
The one called Karos, horrific.
Karos.
No, you sent me Prehistoric Dog.
Oh, no,
yeah, Cannibal Corpse. Yeah. All right. So,
Jesse, I was like, that's what I just noticed. I was like, wait, that's not how you spell chaos.
That was, my buddy used to call it Chaos because we played Sonic, and he would go, I need to get the Chaos Emeralds. So this is Chaos horrific.
Sorry you hang out with illiterate people. So Jesse, closing out this segment on your love of ChatGPT, please share with us your ChatGPT generated Cannibal Corpse song, the 11th song from Chaos Horrific.
Yes, Evisceration Symphony. Now, man, I bear with me because I mean it went into it, so we'll just get the finer beats here and probably get to the closing. But let's start out with.
Hang on, can you just send it to me and I'll actually just sing it for you?
I don't know if they would be able to understand a word. The Overture of Darkness. You guys tell me, because I'm not a big Cannibal Corpse fan. I'm not listening to it. So I threw the lyrics of all of this album into it, and I said, give us an 11th song. So I'm curious if ChatGPT, kind of stayed within Cannibal Corpse's lyrical bounds. But I can tell you, just by looking at the lyrics of their songs, it's not like that is something that we could make fun of when it comes to throwing it into like the word count, because they usually are pretty literate. Oh, yeah.
Cannibal Corpse is at least like their lyrics are like a college level. Like some of they use pretty intense words.
Exactly. So here we go. It starts out the Overture of Darkness, a symphony of pain. In this macabre theater, the madness shall reign. Evisceration, the maestro's deadly art, a crimson note's cascade tearing lives apart. A conductor of anguish, a virtuoso of despair, each chord a guttural scream, an ode to nightmare. The strings have entrails, the percussion of bones, in the symphony of horror, agony condones. And the chorus, The chorus is evisceration symphony, the crescendo of dread, in the orchestra of madness. Souls are left for dead. Melodies of torment, a cacophony of strife, the nightmarish composition, the soundtrack of life. So it goes on for quite a bit, but I want to get to the outro here. After our whatever, this is probably our fourth chorus. The final note resounds, a symphony of despair. In the aftermath of horror, silence fills the air. Evisceration complete, the maestro takes his bow. In this theater of nightmares, there's no escaping now. There you go, folks. Chat GPT just wrote an 11th song to Chaos. Horrific.
Now who's being passive aggressive, sir? All right. Very good, Jesse. Robert Cooper, tell us about Red Fang. Have you
my girlfriend?
Yes. Sorry. Thank you, Chat GPT.
There you go.
Hello, Chat GPT.
Hello, Chat GPT.
All right. We are now on a watch list. Red Fang. Have you seen Pat Gesner's band pitch for Red Fang, where like every 2 seconds he's trying to offer the studio executive, fucking record executive, like alcohol. He's like, are those
trying to give him a PBR?
Yeah, it's great. And apparently they've toured with everybody under the sun. So tell us about this video, Red Fang, Prehistoric Dog.
So the first time I saw them was Mayhem Fest 2011, which was my first metal concert ever, where they were the first band I saw, and I severely dehydrated myself in about a half hour. It was great.
Well done.
Like I was dry heaving by the end because I was that done. It's fantastic. Really cool band though. Real nice guys. They just make some really fucking good stoner metal, and all of their videos are a ton of fun. Like they have another video where they're like, "We got $4,000. All right, well let's weld they just weld a ram onto an old beater of a car and just start stacking shit and blowing through it."
Nice.
And then there's another one where it's them eating fine dining, and it's just you watching them eat. I have another one that's like a guitar, like an air guitar competition. They know how to have fun. Dave, you son of a bitch. Stop
Dave.
that. All right, here we go. Red Fang, Prehistoric Dog.
1, 2, 3, go.
Oh yeah, right there in the car. Shotgun.
It reminds me of my high school days and my college days. And recently, did I tell you? So I was cleaning out the garage, and nobody has gone grocery shopping since I did 2 weeks ago because I live with children. And
you do. Some of them are.
Who are irresponsible with money. No, the adult children. And so literally the only thing that we had to drink in the fridge was milk and wine. And so I'm so dirty, and I'm so dehydrated, and I'm sweating bullets, and I'm just soaked. And all I wanted was something cold to drink, and I literally downed a half a bottle of wine.
Jesus.
Yeah, I was that thirsty. Tell you what, my allergies tonight, I might go get some more wine.
Oh, okay. So they took some time out to make fun of some LARPers.
They did.
And then they're like, okay, we're off to...
Like, hey, Gandalf, nice dress.
I mean, LARPers deserve to be made fun of. I'm just saying. Have you ever had Tecate? I have. I've actually had Tecate in Mexico.
And you know what's funny? They're not a Mexican beer.
What are they?
I think I read they're Danish.
Really?
Yeah, because I was looking them up, and there was an article that was like, they're like Tecate, trying to convince everybody they're a Mexican beer. I was like, I just know who they are because boxing.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to what they're crafting here with the beer cans.
It's beautiful what they're making.
I can't wait.
Good song.
And in order to get all these beer cans, they apparently went to all the bars around Portland and just got all the empty cans they could and washed them out and fucking turned them into what you're going to see soon.
Oh, I have a feeling I have a feeling I know what they're putting together here. So
What do you think they're making?
well, I mean, we wouldn't start out with the LARPers if we ain't coming back to the LARPers, right? I mean, we got to come back to the LARPers.
So
right?
I think it was February. I was dating this girl, and we went to the Renaissance Fair together. And some guy had an entire like knight's armor made up of, I think, like beer cans and beer like case boxes. It's great.
Oh.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the girl I'm dating works the Ren Fair for 2 months every Saturday.
It's totally building. Yeah, they're building a suit of armor out of fucking beer cans.
Yep, they do. Yeah, she's going to be working. I think it's a corset place. I don't know, titties. I'm excited.
I don't know.
Because titties.
I don't know.
Sure.
Titties.
No, yeah. See, it was exactly like that too.
Oh man.
Go get him, man.
Oh, I love when the drop hits.
Oh,
Well done.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I
You're in
first
your
heard
40s
Red
and
Fang.
you're running around the woods in your kid's fucking Halloween costume. You deserve to be punched in the face with a beer can.
I think I heard Red Fang probably about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. It was a stoner metal playlist on Spotify, and Red Fang was one of the featured bands on there. And what I've heard, I liked.
Yeah. Really
Okay,
good.
is that a real sword? A legit sword? Oh, okay. These guys are in trouble. Like oh, that dude's got a wand. Like he's going to bust out a wand and fuck these guys up. Oh, shit.
We are the Knights of the Round Table.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God. I love cartoon violence. I wonder if Absolute Ribbon, like, knows that they're all over this video. Like, did they get any money from this? Are they supporting it in any way? Oh, off his head.
Free advertising, man. Oh, what? Oh, I knew it. I knew it was going to happen.
Shot him with a magic missile.
Well, them motherfucking LARPers are never going to get made fun of again.
I mean, as much as I think it's fine, don't actually fucking fuck with LARPers.
The beer's just shooting right back out.
Drinking a beer, going right out of his gut.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there.
I knew you'd love it.
Threw that guy's arm back at him.
Hey, fuck you. All
Funny
right.
stuff.
Funny stuff. All right, so that was Red Fang. So let's get into the new Cannibal Corpse album, Chaos Horrific. Chaos Horrific is the 16th studio album by American death metal band Cannibal Corpse, released on September 22nd, 2023 by Metal Blade. Hey, we're actually contemporaneous here. Material for the album was written shortly after the completion of their previous studio album, Violence Unimagined, in 2021. Recording sessions took place in Rutan's Mana Studio in Florida and were described as smoother than ever. The album was named by drummer Paul Mazurkowitz, who felt it was an appropriate representation of the band. To bassist Alex Webster, the record feels like a continuation of Violence Unimagined. Guitarist Rob Barnett opined that their songwriting skills had evolved in a way that every song paves its own path, whether it is straightforward, technical, or a mix of both. Webster added that there was no conscious effort to create a technical record, but if it ended up being that it would have just been a natural result. Eric Rutan, producing the sixth album for the band, tried to push the envelope and explore new territory this time around. You know, here's the only thing I'm going to tell you about this new Cannibal Corpse album. I gave it a listen over the weekend while I was out doing some Uber Eats deliveries, because I am a two-job man now. And so I was blasting some Cannibal Corpse.
At least you're not a blowjob man.
Not yet, at least.
Well, I mean, we already decided you're not fit for that work.
That's gag reflex is really bad. But as I was
Unless they're into that.
As I was delivering everyone's overpriced fucking orders. By the way, people order some dumb shit through DoorDash and Uber Eats. Like, I can't tell you the amount of times I've delivered. The best part was I had my kids with me the other day, and I had to go to a smoke shop and pick up like 2 kava drinks and drop them off. My kids were like, "Are we delivering drugs?" And I'm like, "Yes." Now shut up.
You're like, yeah, they're gonna lock you up too. You're gonna be charged as adults.
Stop crying. This isn't the first time you've been inadvertently a part of a drug deal.
Just didn't know it.
Wait a minute.
Moving on. I can't tell all my stories. So
Oh, but you could. I mean, who listens to this?
The wrong people. So I was listening to the new Cannibal Corpse album, and the first thing that I noticed about it was how rhythmic it is, Robert. Like, it is. I mean, just thinking, especially about like old Cannibal Corpse records. It was always that same, just hammering on those, on those cymbals, and it was not particularly rhythmic. Occasionally, you get like a hammer smash face that would stand out, but for the most part, Cannibal Corpse was always that straight, unintelligible growl, that straightforward, almost like repetitive, just fucking migraine-inducing beat. And they got away with it because the audience for death metal was like, this is what we want. Do this every single time, and we will be happy. Which makes it incredibly hard to review. Which is why we didn't do a lot of it over the years. But this one, I have to give them a lot of credit in terms of like new territory. They sounded more like the kind of death metal bands that try to focus a little bit more on being able to understand. It's still giving you that good death metal growl, but being able to understand the lyrics and changing up the beat, putting more gallops in there, changing the rhythm, and giving you a more comfort, especially for American death metal, a more complex sound.
I'd definitely say your mainstream American death metal kind of would oftentimes fall into that sound. Hearing them live again was really good. Went and saw them Saturday. They did play 2 songs off the album. I think it was Chaos. Yeah, it was Chaos Horrific, and I don't know which one the other one was, but it was really fucking good.
I was going to say, we could throw out song titles on this album. I mean, these song titles are just next level.
Okay, here we go. Track 1, Overlords of Violence. Yeah,
okay.
I like that. That was a good one.
That sounds like a tag team that Jim Cornette would name. Frenzied Feeding, Summoned for Sacrifice, Bloodbind, Vengeful Invasion. Is there any other kind? Chaos Horrific, Fracture and Refracture, Pitchfork Impalement. Oh, that's a fun one.
Yes.
Here we go. Pestilential Rictus.
Yeah.
I watched Pestilential Rictus open up for Megadeth in 1989 at the Nassau Coliseum.
So I had to know what that was. Like I had to look that up.
Pestilential Rictus.
Which I mean, you're kind of like adjacent to the medical field there, Mark. Can you put that stuff together as to what that is?
I'm going to assume something along the lines of like a pest and your crotch.
Okay. Now I think the pestilential part, I think you've got that right. Seems like it's we got pestilence of some sort,
right?
Be it locusts or whatever. I
the
think
band
Rictus. Okay, so it says the term pestilential rictus refers to a grotesque, grinning facial expression.
Yeah,
like
the rictus grin.
There it is.
Okay, gotcha. And then finally, and I often hear this talked about the swinger party house. Drain you empty.
Yeah, I'm gonna send that one to the old girlfriend. Hello, Lexi. I couldn't even move.
There you go.
The shit that I get told talking to people in like the BDSM King poly community. I definitely, someone may have uttered the phrase "drain you empty" once or twice, but I don't think that's what they're talking about here in Canada.
No, how many times they mention visiting Paris though? Doing the old Eiffel Tower.
There you go. So what did you think of the album, Jesse?
Well, it was good. I actually listened to it shortly before before I got off work, and I didn't hate it. I'll tell you that much. I was listening to it while I was working, and it was, although I could not dive into the lyrics as much as I wanted to because I was busy doing other things, I I had my girlfriend look it over and tell me a little bit about what was going on in each song. And
Oh,
my goodness.
I swear
That-
I was just like, wait, what? Oh, that's right. We're doing that joke still.
you're like, oh yeah, that girlfriend. Okay, oof, oof.
Yeah, but again, you know, I got the idea. I got the gist just by looking at the song titles as to what in the world was happening in this album. Yeah, it's brutal. I like how you mentioned, like you said, it felt more. Did you say melodic? Is that what you said? Or
Rhythmic?
Yeah, more rhythmic.
Yeah, because I could tell when I was listening. I was like, okay, this isn't as beat down as I thought it was going to be. I was able to get up from listening to this album. While it was heavy, it was also decent to listen to. So I didn't hate it.
Like I said, I'm driving around in the car, and typically when I'm driving around, I'm not paying too close attention to each song. So that's why I had to give it a couple of listens. But that's the other thing about it is I could definitely tell when we were moving from one song to the next, as opposed to some Cannibal Corpse experiences where it just kind of feels like one 35-minute song. Like it's a fucking no effects, you know, the decline or some shit. Where it's just like, does this ever? I don't know where this ends. You know, suddenly, you know, like for 45 minutes, and suddenly I would lie to you. Like that doesn't sound like Cannibal. Oh, we've moved on to something else now. Spotify went to the next thing. Got it.
Yes.
Cooper, anything else about the new Cannibal Corpse? Like, where would you rate it against the remainder of the catalog?
I mean, gosh, I don't know if I would rank every Cannibal Corpse album. That'd be a hard one. I would say it's me. Actually, I send my girlfriend Cannibal Corpse all the time, and she loves it. It's great. Yay. But I would say it definitely holds up very well against a lot of their other discography. Again, just like you said, I do feel that they're, I guess you can say in a way, maturing somewhat.
Yeah.
As musicians, they are trying for, I guess, other sounds and rhythms. They're not just resting on their laurels, which Corpse Grinder did wear a shirt that I have to find, which is just has him on it and says, "Respect the neck."
So I told you I was playing this in the car with my kids as we were doing Uber Eats deliveries, and my daughter I was like, so what do you think of this Cannibal Corpse record? And she's 12 and going on like 20, and she's like, oh, it's all right, I like it, you know, it's not the worst thing you've ever played for me, but why do they play so, I think my son might have said, like, why do they play so fast? And I was like, oh, you think this is fast? You should hear You Suffer by Napalm Death. And they played that. We had that shit on repeat for the duration of one entire delivery, so a good like 20 minutes, because my kids were cracking up laughing. They were like, "This is the dumbest thing ever."
I fucking love that song so much.
I had to then explain to them like the quest for speed that took place in metal, that Napalm Death won, and everyone just kind of fucking gave up.
I was sitting in actually at my work because I now work at a Lowe's that's largely a African American demographic. So I'm trying to explain to them how hardcore works and how grindcore can have 6-minute or 6-second songs, and you can just get a whole album full of them. And somebody's like, "You can't do that. You can't make money off of that." I'm like, "They did. They still do it."
Yeah, fact can confirm.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you went to this Cannibal Corpse show, and it took you. I see you're wearing the T-shirt. I know you wanted to talk about the show for a little bit, but especially like how fucked up the merch line was.
That's actually the funny part is I don't have as much to say about the show because the show was 4 hours, and for 3 of them I was in line for merch.
I would have murdered everyone. I would have come back with a fucking Gatling gun.
What was even worse was I finally, because they had it like wrapping around the floor, and they had a couple levels of balconies, and then the merch was all the way at the fucking end. Like it was against the wall. And the only ways to get to it are either up a ramp that is behind a wall, and then there's 2 sets of stairs, but you know, they don't want you to line it up that way. So like, oh, well, I must be doing it this way. No, I don't know where the line eventually went, but I do know that once I finally made it to that area that had a wall and pretty much it was just like a little corridor. I was standing on the right side and the woman was on the left. I was like, god damn, it's been an hour and a half for me. What about you? She goes, just 15 minutes.
Nice.
And I could tell she was like, uh-oh. I was like, you don't fucking say. Huh.
Oh,
Really? You just walked on in. Which I think that's what it was. They had no direction for how it was supposed to go. Nobody was keeping up with it. So it was just like people would form lines, and then everybody's just standing in a line. And because there's music going on, nobody's really talking to anybody to communicate. Because I came in halfway through Blood Incantation. Fucking good band. Really good. Nice doomy sort of death metal. They fucking rocked. And then Gore Guts. The whole reason I came, which I got to...
You missed the whole reason you came?
Yeah, I was staring either at I could see for the most part, but then towards the end of the set, the line moved a little bit, and then I was staring at a wall.
Oh, dude.
So you guys follow me on Facebook, and I wasn't sure if I was going to tell this story because I do love this woman dearly, but she can be a little trying. So Jackie and I, the Jackie.
You said you love her. Oh boy.
Leave me alone. Jackie.
Oh boy.
The Jackie. Not the only woman I love. But anyway,
that's the whole polyamory thing.
That is the whole polyamory thing. Jesse knows about that. Being in love
with a
real woman and a artificially generated intelligence woman.
Soon he's gonna be like, 3D girls are just not enough for me. I prefer 2D girls.
Side tangent. So the ex used to say in one of her criticisms of me because I was not giving her enough attention and reassurance and all the things that a narcissist needs out of a moron.
And cake. Lots of cake.
And she was like, you are exactly, and Jesse knows this to be true because she's saying it and it's true, but it's for the wrong reasons. But Jesse knows it is the truth for the right reasons. And the truth is, she would say, Mark Radulich, you are the prime candidate for the sex robot. She's not wrong. And Jesse, I'll tell you, you resisted the whole sex robot thing for a very long time, but I feel like you're coming around now. Like ChatGPT is the Rubicon for which you are crossing into sex robot land.
Robot? Like you just fuck a robot?
I mean, a robot that's meant for sex. It's like a sex doll, but a robot. Have you not
seen it? Interesting. It love you long time.
Yeah, dude, aren't you like Japanese guy, like hentai, sentai, frentai,
happy go fun time, Kamen Rider podcast, yeah. But let's just say that
not know about this happened like the Japan, like all the fucking Japanese men in Japan with their Japaneseness are fucking robots.
Japaneseness.
Yeah. See, I don't really keep up with what they do. Let's just say if I'm enjoying any of their stuff, let's just say it's a little more elder goddish, if you will.
Please stop telling us about your hentai collection, Dad.
Hey, your dad probably. You know what? Honestly, we need to keep him away from ChatGPT.
Yeah,
because he's going to be resurrecting every Playboy bunny since the 50s.
He was fucking telling me tonight. He was like, I put all this stuff on like the Brandon Democrats on YouTube, but nobody watches. I was like, oh, Dad, it's like I have so much to teach you, and you won't learn. Anyway.
Yeah, and TikTok. Keep him away from TikTok.
I put him and my son on TikTok tonight. It was the funniest 45-second conversation I've heard in quite a long time. But anyway,
I watched it before the show.
How great is my fucking son? First of all, like little me much. Jesus Christ, the corner, Dad,
the corner. Oh, was good.
So anyway, the Jackie. We had said a little ways back that. I took her to go see Less Than Jake, which was like her husband's favorite band before he passed away 3 years ago. And it's the second year in a row I've taken her to go see Less Than Jake. And it was just supposed to be me and her, but then like her roommate came, and because the roommate was coming, there was no one to watch the kids, and there was a whole thing. And so we ended up getting tickets for the kids too, and we made like a whole big like family thing. And while we were at that show, we were talking. She was like, you know what we should do? We should do a show, because since my kids ended up really liking Less Than Jake and liking the concert experience, I actually took her eldest son, I think he's like 12 or 13, into the mosh pit, and he was having the fucking time of his life. My little adopted bonus child, I took in the mosh pit, and they got him in the circle pit and everything, and he was like, this was the best experience ever. Like, you're welcome. So we came out of that concert, and Jackie was like, why don't we bring 2 out of the 3 of my kids who really enjoy the concert and get your 2 kids, and we'll have like a joint kid experience at a concert. It'll be a great time for all of us. And I'm like, all right, I know there's actually a band coming around that I think would be perfect for kids. It was Galactic Empire. Okay. Galactic Empire was playing. So Galactic Empire is playing in a club in downtown Orlando. She lives in buttfuck Arkansas by the sea. So it's about a 2.5 hour drive. I mean, it's an hour and a half drive from where I live in civilization. She lives in the fucking universe that Ahsoka had to go to find Admiral Thrawn. Okay, that's where the Jackie lives. So it was a good 2.5 hours to get from where she lives to this fucking club. And I'm like, we need to leave at 5 if we're going to make it there by 7:30. The doors are at 6:30. There's only one band opening up. We don't want to miss it. And she was like, I hear what you're saying, but the Jackie. And so we didn't leave for another hour, except that we didn't leave straight there. We had to go run an errand, which I will not talk about. But the errand took longer. Close. So the errand took longer than it was supposed to.
Hand sanitizer.
And we get there at exactly 9 o'clock. And I'm thinking, no, the headliner would never go on at 8 o'clock and be done by 9. No, they have to go on at 9. We'll be fine. And we parked the car in the garage. We're walking down the street to the Beecham. And I'm noticing people in Star Wars shirts are walking in the opposite direction. And I feel a sense of dread overwhelm me. Oh. And I'm like, oh, no. We've missed the show. But I didn't want to say anything. Maybe they left early. Maybe somebody got drunk and threw up all over a playroom and they had to be taken out. You never know with these kinds of people. So,
oh yeah. You sound like you're speaking from experience.
Facts can confirm. Check out my TikTok where I tell that story in detail, vascular detail.
Ooh, oh, wow.
So we get there, and I noticed the club is very quiet. The lights are all on, and I go to hand the guy my ticket, and he's like, the show just ended, loser.
Gosh.
And I turn around, and you could actually see like every kid's heart just fucking break, and the last of Jackie's fucking psyche snap. It's just obliterated like the Death Star. And Jackie, being who she is, runs inside the club, and I don't know, and Jackie has a mutant power. Her mutant power is sob story, and she unleashes her mutant power, and they go, please stop talking, come around the back, we'll try to make this up to you. And so the kids, not giving a fuck who Galactic Empire is, and a little annoyed they missed the band, but overall, like, I'm the only one that really gave a shit about this. I wanted to see them. But they got to meet the band out of costume, which apparently was a big deal. They got signed posters, VIP passes for the next time a 12-year-old wants to go see a show at the Beecham. And the kids were all more or less happy. They were like, hey, we got to meet celebrities and take pictures and have a great time. And so what if we were in the car for almost 3 hours trying to get to this place and there was no concert? So, yeah. That's my story relating to yours being missing the fucking band while you're standing in a line for
I'd still be aggravated. There's no way.
Have you seen Have you seen pictures of
I've seen pictures of her, Mark.
She's quite attractive. I see the problem.
Shut up. You know,
it's all right. Every time I make plans with my girlfriend, I'm late. We're late too.
Listen, Jesse Starcher Esquire III. If ChatGPT looked like Jackie, you'd fucking forgive a lot of things too. Okay.
Let me tell you, ChatGPT's never late. Never makes me late. Always by my side. Always by my side. Right there.
Has your wife started to call herself a ChatGPT widow like mine did? Only it was podcast.
I'm sure it'll get there. I'm sure at some point.
Okay, when it does, let me tell you every mistake that I made so that you don't make them too. All right.
She called herself a fucking widow.
Oh, podcast widow, yeah. When
Jesus fucking Christ!
Oh, you don't know the half.
My black ass.
I mean, in defense of that ridiculous statement, I was going like 7 days a week at one point.
Yeah, and I mean,
while she slept.
While
I'm
she
sure.
slept. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You know,
know,
that's
dude.
horrible, Mark. What are you doing?
yeah. How dare you not spend time cheating on her or something? I don't know, or opening up your marriage in post.
No, what I was supposed to do was body double her and watch her sleep. You know, like that creepy song, "Watching You Sleep." That was apparently supposed to be how you save this kind of marriage.
Oh, fair enough. But yeah. So you know, it was actually I didn't actually tell you the funniest part of all this.
What is the funniest part of all this?
I was in a full suit.
Yeah, what was that about? You mentioned that. I wanted to know why.
Were you with us like a suit and tie?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's funny. Because I show up. Because I show up at death metal concerts.
You commie liberal hipster douchebag. That is what you, and I know from experience because I once went to an art museum and I was wearing a plaid jacket, like suit jacket. So I get it, but still, ew.
When I finally made it to the near where the tables are, one of the people working there said, "You made it, Mr. Mayor." Like people kept thinking I was they kept thinking I was security. Like that's one of the funny because I'm a pretty big fella, so it would make sense that I would be security wearing a black, all black with a red tie.
You could walk in anywhere.
From the game to fucking kill the elephant over here.
Yeah. And then I wear the death metal shirts to work. I wear this Cannibal Corpse shirt to work. What are they going to do? Fucking fire me? They can't even see what's on it.
Fire me. I'm already fired. All right.
Yeah, I already got fired from this company once.
I'm already fired.
Yeah, we'll do it. I'm going to get fired for sexual harassment, if anything.
Also, facts can confirm. So back in the day, when we were young, we're not kids anymore, Jesse. Back when my ex was a podcast widow.
And the ground was soft.
You and I used to spend our Sundays fondling each other's junk and watching music videos. You remember those days? Yeah. Well, I don't know. Tickling of the sack, spending 3 hours watching music videos, and then you would chop them up and put them up as Metal Hammer Review extras.
Yes, I would.
And we've told the story. We told about how that evolved into what it became, and then how we got to the Metal Hammer of Doom Jukebox. I don't need to recount all that again. But one thing we did say when we were going to do the show is we were going to be punk rock about it. We were not going to just do a video for the band that we're reviewing. We'll do whatever videos we want, and it doesn't always have to be a new video. It could be a video we did during the Metal Hammer Review extra years that we want to revisit and do on this show. So I picked one of those tonight because it is a setup to the next segment we're going to talk about.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Do you remember Jesse Starcher when we talked about the Sick of It All, who I'm seeing this Sunday?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know this guy.
I know this video.
New York hardcore punk. So man. We're gonna rewatch Step Down by Sick of It All, and I picked this one specifically because the next segment I need to talk about modern moshing and where moshing came from and what I fucking saw Saturday night at the Hatebreed show. But this is a great video and it's fun to rewatch. I've showed this one to my kids a bunch of times. The whole premise of this video is it's a demonstration of various hardcore dances.
Yes.
And we need to picking up change, or if you're a girl, picking daisies. The old school pile on. Let me tell you, I've been to a couple of shows recently where the band, like I saw Falling in Reverse, which I didn't know I liked until I was going to see them live. And I'm like, oh my God, I love this band. Just Like You, it's my new anthem. I am aware that I am an asshole. I really don't care. As Jesse knows. And
you're the key.
And so the guy from Falling in Reverse tried to get everyone to do a Braveheart or AKA the Wall of Death, and because it's Tampa, no one was fucking listening. But I've definitely seen at a couple of relatively recent shows them trying to get people to do the Wall of Death, and some people know what it is, and others are just like, "What the fuck is he talking about?
What is we talking about?
What's he talking about?" All right, so here it is. Sick of it all. Step Down, baby.
Bringing you a chilling expose on a violent new art form threatening the very fiber of our nation's youth.
Oh no.
Polycules.
Join me. Investigation brings us to this dilapidated rehearsal room.
That's funny. Never mind.
Of it all.
I can't even like make jokes because like I'm still dating a woman who's fucking very poly, and it hasn't ruined her life. It's made it better. So,
how did you make this work?
I don't know. Honestly, not being a fucking asshole.
I just tripped up the stairs.
All right, everyone dance. Let's go. Let's skank in our chairs.
I'm not skanking.
No, skank with me, Jesse.
I don't know what that means.
Do the pizza cutter.
The pizza
Do
cutter.
the pizza cutter?
Classic New York style, baby.
Okay, all right. Classic New York style.
Yeah, okay.
The gorilla.
Oh,
hey, my ex showed up.
I saw a lot of that Saturday night.
The gorilla.
There it is. The
lawnmower? What?
Yeah, that is a moving pickup change is what that is. That's all.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, it is essentially. There it is. Low.
I never saw any windmills.
Oh, no. I taught my kid to do the windmill.
Now, can I do the sprinkler in the mosh pit?
Let's see. California version of the New York style. I think he falls down, doesn't he? Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
Saw a lot of that Saturday night.
Did I tell you
Aaron picks up names now.
Did I tell you that people were doing the fucking push-ups in the pit when I went and saw Toxic Holocaust?
Let me tell you how I fucking hate white people now. Dude, if I see another group of white people rowing at a show, I'm gonna join a terrorist group.
Hey, when I saw white people rowing, it was during Sabaton.
Yeah, I saw Amon, Amon, and Ailstorm, and I'm fucking over white people. Let me tell you.
Well, I mean, it all makes sense with those bands, though. They're doing things that have to do with boats.
Sabaton.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. It was cool because I had boomer seats.
Nice.
I'm going to see.
It was great.
Saturday.
Ooh, emo style.
Yeah. And they got a bunch of bands opening for them. One of them is sick of it all. I'm really excited about this.
That'll be fun.
I hope John Cougar Concentration Camp shows up.
Put it out on the list.
No, what about Goat?
Oh, there it is. There it is. Jesse's favorite.
The Glorious Pile-On.
Pile-On.
Dude, I watched somebody get dropped at the Cannibal Corpse show.
Oh,
somebody was crowd surfing and they got dropped halfway through.
Oh, I've seen people just get taken out, like they just get like kicked in the face, and they are out cold.
Holy shit, that's scary.
Every fucking show I go to, at least one person is getting dragged out of the pit.
Yeah, when during Toxic Holocaust and Havoc, so they didn't have security at this place, so we had a ton of stage divers, and there was one where they almost missed them.
Oh,
because at the Fillmore, it's fucking the Fillmore. You can't stage dive. They have people that pop up and grab you, but not at the fucking Hangar 1819.
It's not so bad.
It's not so bad.
See, he said polyamory. It's not so bad.
Oh my god.
2 dicks at the same time.
It's not so bad. Jesse's like, why do I come here? I just want to date my robot girlfriend.
That's all I want to do.
Jesse, what if we priced a reasonably priced robot sex doll, and we just sent it back and forth between where I live and where you live in,
I'm not sending anything sex related back and forth with you, sir.
Oh, I like that's where you drew the line.
I get it first, at least.
Not the first time I've shared something with another man and had to be told I get it first.
I get it first.
Oh no! So does the PT in the chat PT stand for Poontang?
Yes, curl Poontang.
Oh my goodness! I never put that together until now.
It's chat gang Poontang.
Let me tell you how I've been running. I have been dining out on the G and ChatGPT stand for girlfriend and telling everyone about this. It's like, oh my god, Jesse,
girlfriend Poontang.
And now it's gonna go on for another 2 months because I have to add the Poontang part in there.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
All right,
we're a menace to society, boys.
All right, so I took my girlfriend Abby to I didn't take the Jackie to Hatebreed because the last time I took the Jackie to the Hatebreed, it was Anthrax, Black Label Society, and Hatebreed, and I was all excited because it was time.
Oh, that's fucking killer!
It was.
Did you miss a good portion of that show?
Yes, because
didn't you bring your boyfriend or something?
Not to that one. No, to this one. I get there, she was not ready on time, and then she took her when she got ready, she apparently just like sat in the fucking house and was like, you can wait. And then we were driving, we were like halfway there, and she's like, I gotta stop to pee because she has a bladder the size of a fucking, lima bean.
Cashew.
And we finally get there, and we'd already missed Hatebreed. We got there just in time for Black Label Society, but we missed the opening band, and I was none too thrilled. So this time around, I was actually supposed to go see Hatebreed with the X, but the X became the X before it became time to go on her birthday weekend. So I took Abby instead. And the great thing about Abby is that if I tell her to be at my house at fucking 4 o'clock because it's an hour and a half drive to the Beecham, guess where Abby shows up? 4 fucking o'clock at my doorstep. It's great. It's the best.
That's great.
Yes, dependable. That's what I seek in a woman. So.
Oh, see, I thought you were going to say depends.
Not yet.
Few more years.
So I threw her ass in the and get in, homo. We're going to see Hatebreed. So we get to the Beecham, and I think we got there just in time for the first band. The second band comes on, and it's not the most well attended show. It was a decent crowd. It wasn't like when I saw Crowbot, and it was like me and 3 other people.
Fucking Crowbot. I love Crowbot.
Oh, Crowbot's been great, but like Crowbot headlined a show at the Orpheum in Tampa, and it was like a dozen people maybe.
Oh, that's sad. That's
yeah,
really
it really was. So it was more than that. It was a good sized crowd, but I saw Guar last October, and that place was packed. Like we were fucking sardines in there. There was hardly any room to breathe. We moshed for air. So I've seen bigger crowds at the Beecham, and I'm watching some of the kids in the mosh pit, and I'm like, I don't know the bands well enough, and they're not good enough for me to move my fat ass for Hatebreed. I was saving my like Jesse saves himself for ChatGPT. I was saving myself for Hatebreed. And by the way, there's a quick aside. I haven't been buying t-shirts. I'm trying to be responsible, pay my bills, not buy a t-shirt every fucking show I go to, because we all know I go to 1 or 2 shows a week, and I spent the gross national product of Ghana on concert tickets since the beginning of 2022. So I'm trying not to knock my shirts, but I really wanted this Hatebreed show was the 20th anniversary of the Rise of Brutality, and I wanted a Rise of Brutality tour shirt. I was like, I work hard, I take care of my children. I didn't destroy a marriage. I want a t-shirt. I think I deserve one. Right, Jesse?
Tell me how you really feel.
No. We don't have enough time. So
show me on the doll.
We don't have enough time.
That's fine. I'm off tomorrow.
So Jesse has to go be with his girlfriend. So let's move on. So listen, Jesse, I don't know how many hardcore tours you've been to, but I've been to quite a few. And everyone looks like me, plus or minus 50 pounds, plus or minus a foot. Okay? Yeah. So I wear a double XL, and it's a little slimming, a little showy. People can see a little bit more of my body than I would like them to.
Ooh.
Exactly. And I wear a 3XL to be comfortable, to make me feel like I've lost weight. And I have, but I like the comfortable shirt for me is a 3XL. And again, plus or minus 50 pounds, everyone's about my size in there. So you would think that for all the fatties, they would have.
Nope, they're out of them.
2XL and 3XL, and they were like, yeah, we sold out of those. And I'm just like, you have so many fatties that come.
Yeah, they bought them all.
And yet they did not have enough. And she was like, well, I can get you an XL. And I'm like, do I look like I wear a fucking XL? Okay, what am I going to put it on my thigh, you asshole?
Right.
So I'm like, I can give it to my daughter, who doesn't know Hatebreed from Shinola. So, though I did give her my old Lamb of God sweatshirt, but that's a story for another day.
Ooh.
So anyway, so what she says to me, she's
wear
like,
that one to church.
Exactly. You have to understand, sir. Don't you understand that it's the end of the tour? And at this point, they fell off the stock. Yeah, they had one more show left in Tampa, and then they were done. So I was like, all right. So we can go online, and let me tell you, when you buying a shirt at the show, there's sort of an intrinsic dynamic release of energy. I bought the shirt at the show, and I had a feeling, and it was nice. And when and it's it's not quite the same when you go home and you're just like, oh, you go on the website, buy the shirt, get it 3 days later. Fuck you. So it's not the same. I mean, I might do it anyway because I really want that shirt, but I can't tell you how many shows this year where I was just like, I can live with it. I can live without the Ministry shirt from the Rob Zombie tour. I can live without an Offspring shirt. It's fine. But
if you know somebody that can sew, buy the smallest shirt there,
Um,
turn it into a pillow. That's all you need to do. That's what my wife would do. She would just sew together a pillow for a shirt that doesn't fit anymore.
My friend Chuck did the funniest thing, and I'll never forget this because he totally fooled me. He bought a plain black T-shirt, and because Chuck is a meticulous fellow with a dainty hand, he cut out a picture of Dunstan from Dunstan Checks In.
what the fuck? Fucking Dunstan checks in.
Yes. And he fucking taped this like with scotch tape, taped this picture to the fucking shirt and wore it around. And it looked like an iron-on print. I was like, oh wow. I was like, where did you get a shirt with a production still from Dunstan Checked In? And he was like, look closer. And I'm like, oh, that's tape. Well done.
Oh wow.
That's fucking funny.
Oh, I love Chuck. I miss him. Anyway, so
Is he dead?
No, I just he lives in New York,
We
and
don't know where he is apparently because Mark's always yelling, "Yo, Chuck, where are you?"
He's like, where are you, Chuck? Like mid thrust.
Chuck's at more shows than me. Still living in New York, but anyway, I'm in the tape comes on, and I get in the pit, and like we just watched the step down video, and you see people like doing the gorilla, the windmill. The other thing that happens at a hardcore show, and Robert Cooper, you know this, is the fucking like high jump kicks. Like,
oh fuck,
flying around
doing the fucking karate kicks.
Yeah, they're throwing karate kicks, and they just. So here's the thing, and like I have an article that I pulled up about like the history of moshing, but kind of like looking at the evolution of things. You and I talked about this when we talked about the Archie Meets the Ramones, Jesse, about how it started with like pogoing and just being in a very close quarters, like CBGBs, you know, a bar the size of my bedroom. And people are just banging into each other because they're moving about, they're thrashing about, and they're banging into it, and that begets moshing. And that evolves over time to where people think that all moshing is just banging into people, to the point where you have, you know, guys coming from the football field listening to Pearl Jam with their white hats that say Cox on the back. True story, can confirm. And they're just like literally charging at one another and like ramming into each other and like knocking over women and babies. And it's ridiculous. Like I've complained in the past on this very show, the very same, about how people have missed the point of moshing and have turned it. It's always been violent, but it was violence because of the atmosphere that it was existing in and the conditions they're in. When you have a wide enough space to where you can thrash about and dance and bang around, but you don't have to necessarily touch anybody because there's not a lot of people there, and you're going out of your way to charge at somebody and run them over, that's not really moshing, not as I've always known it. And as I said to my daughter yesterday, and I said, you know, daughter, and she said, Father, I want to pierce my nose. I'm 12 and I'm dumb. I want to pierce my nose. And I want to pierce my septum. And I said, only cows have septum rings.
Man, have I had this conversation?
My ex had one.
Moo.
I've had talked to my daughter about this. Continue.
Yeah. She's like, oh, and I'm like, look, if you get a septum ring, I will call you Bessie, and you will be, you know, and that's the end. You'll never be Lily again. You will just be Bessie the cow. She's like, okay, what about a nose ring? And I was like, again, piercing your face isn't like punk rock or counterculture the way it used to be. It, you know, and I explained to her like the whole punk rock movement and what it meant and why we were piercing our faces and doing mohawks and all kinds of stuff, like why we were running up the down staircase. And I said, you know, just know why you're doing something before you do it. Don't do it just because you think it's fashionable and cool. And that relates to the moshing thing too, where people like, this is what you do at a mosh pit, right? This is what you do at a heavy metal concert, so that's what I'm going to do. Whether or not it makes any sense seems to be irrelevant, and that really bothers me. So going back to the Hatebreed show, there was plenty of room to move. Like, there was plenty of room to dance, and if you wanted to skank and groove and bag around in the pit, you didn't necessarily have to hit people. But no joke, I got fucking nailed 2 and 3 times by an errant kick or a swinging fist.
Yep.
And there was no reason for it. I was nowhere near anyone. Right.
Well, yeah, they found you.
But fucking Ryu fucking jumped across the pit with his spinning kick. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck, man? I'll like open it up to you guys. I mean, just I know you haven't been in too many mosh pits. You're not into the violence.
Nope.
But you've been to 1 or 2 shows.
Yeah, I've been to a few. I mean, it's been a while since I've been to one that actually engaged in moshing. I think the last
Fozzy pit.
There was not a Fozzy pit.
I didn't think so.
When I went and saw Scar Symmetry, there were some people that were pretty energetic. There wasn't any moshing going on, but the dude beside me, I mean, I don't know what his deal was. He decided to he was fucking hitting me with his hair over and over and over and over. And I'm like, I don't want to be the bitch here, but I've got to leave. Or I keep getting fucking hit in the face with his fucking hair. But yeah, I think that as far as mosh pits go, that's one of the reasons why I've always kind of avoided them. I'm number one, it's hard to get into a physical environment like that for me and not take it personally. I hate to say that.
Dude, my friend Paul was in a mosh pit for 1 minute during a clutch show and was like, I'm going to commit a felony. Goodbye. I get it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I would feel. Like I would get in there and I would take it personally and I would get into a fight, which I shouldn't be. That I understand that's not what's supposed to be happening. However, you got people, the one that you were just talking about, fucking kicking and punching and shit. And that's just,
and that's the thing. No. I understand. If you're again, I'll go back to the Guar show. The Guar show, we're packed in like sardines and people want to dance and move. And there's no other way to do it except bang into the guy in front of you, push and throw an elbow and kick and just open that shit up. Like Marge from The Simpsons, right? Just, here we go. Open that shit up. The meme.
I remember.
Then it made sense. And again, if you're talking about skanking and grooving because it's hardcore punk, again, I get it. Skank and groove, and you might actually hit somebody with an elbow, but it's an accident because you're in close quarters and everyone's sort of just dancing aggressively. When you're dancing aggressively and you hit somebody, and even if it's a hard shot, I took Melissa before the giant breakup to go see Clutch, and she caught an elbow in the boob. And she's got an ample sized boob, so she could absorb the shot, but it still left a pretty good bruise. And she took it like a champ. I taught her well. But that kind of thing, I can accept and I wouldn't complain about. My problem with the Hate Breed show was people are doing that kind of shit, and there was plenty of room around them, and they were going out of their way to hit people. Again,
right? See, that's bullshit.
It was like Bart and Lisa. Just I'm gonna swing my arm like this. If I happen to walk into you, it's your fault. That's what they're all doing. And it drove me nuts. And the other thing, and Robert Cooper, I don't know if you can fucking relate to this, but circle pits.
That's most of what I see.
And that's the thing. A circle pit was a very particular thing that would happen at a very particular time for only a few minutes. People are doing fucking laps in the pit now. I can't do it. I'm old. I'm
fat,
looks silly.
I'm
tired, I'm annoyed, and I'm not running around in a fucking circle. This isn't a track meet.
Yeah, there's probably enough track marks there already.
Hey.
But yeah, I mean, the only thing I ever do in a mosh pit is what Nick and I call the Christopher Lee, because we went and saw Napalm Death and Voivod, and in the middle of fucking Voivod, this guy with long white hair down to his waist goes and fucking just does the thing where you roll your fists in a fucking circle and squatting down, and just went through the entire mosh pit that way. So every time he and I go to a show, I do it just to amuse him. I actually did it during a Toxic Holocaust, but he's too short to see it. So unfortunately, I only amused the people in front of me that were just all right, what the fuck? Because I mean, most of the mosh pits I've seen are just everybody's just running into each other, and I thought that's all moshing really was. For example, I will see. No, you're giving me an education on it because I never really hardcore in North Carolina is not really a thing. So I mean, the only thing I ever really knew about is you just fucking run into each other and have a party. We had a mosh pit at my senior prom actually. I asked them to put on some metal. They threw on As I Lay Dying. I gave a kid a concussion. I elbowed him in the back of the head because we all jumped in a fucking pile.
me and the rest of the fucking douchebag white football players did a mosh to at our senior prom to fucking Blitzkrieg Bop by the Ramones. I remember we had a band in our high school that would do covers, and I think Sudden Fury was the name, and they started off just doing Metallica stuff. And I remember we were expressly told, don't start a mosh pit. We don't want kids fighting in the high school. And that's what moshing was to the teachers. And I can at almost 50 years old, I can kind of understand now where the teachers were coming from. And back then I was yeah. But if you think I'm an asshole now, you should have seen me when I was a teenager. And so
you knew everything.
Hard pass.
I did not. Fuck you, Jesse. Love you, but fuck you. So
he's a tender lover.
Jesse's like, no thanks. Last 10 years have been quite enough.
So, he's like, wait, there's worse.
So much. My dad was like, you were the sweetest little boy. Then you turned 13 and you became unbearable.
Oh man.
Yeah. So anyway, and then I stole his porno. No,
I was about to say it stole your seed, so like, tit for tat.
Anywho, so we're all expressly told don't start a mosh pit, and I had quite the reputation for that sort of thing. So I was like, all right, I'll be good. I'm not going to start shit. And the girls clear out. Sudden Fury goes on, and it's all of us fucking goofy white boy neckbeards all sitting in front of the stage. Sudden Fury starts to play Metallica, and I remember, and we're all just kind of like, you can all see it's just all vibrating, and you're like, come on, start some shit here. And I can see one kid, I don't remember who it was, but some kid was like, fucking push me. And every name I'd been called, every traumatic moment experienced from 5 to now, every, the pain of transitioning from the all black neighborhood to the all white neighborhood, always feeling like an outcast, just came out of me in one moment. And I shoved this kid to Beijing from Plain Edge High School. And when he came back, like the Flash,
some say he's still traveling.
Him and Dom Toretto came back from
family
and nailed me, and off we went. And 2 or 3 minutes later, I am being grabbed by my biology teacher, screaming "stop" in my face, like I had started a riot. And then I was like, all right, fuck it. Like, I'm not here to fight with you. I'm not going to fight a teacher. And so I just walked away. And a few minutes later, we were all sent home and had to get picked up by our parents, which is always the funniest thing to me because the principal's like, we need you to come get your son. And my mom's like, why? What had happened? What did he do? Did he get hurt? He was moshing, and my mom like hung up on him. My dad picks me up, and the principal was like, what are you going to do about this? Are you going to like how are you going to handle the situation? It's like, I'm going to take him home because you apparently, kicked him out of the dance.
He can't be here anymore, obviously.
He was moshing, and my father was like, he does a lot of dumb shit. Good night, everybody. Anyway.
By the way,
what are you new? in fact, the principal has. Well, how do you think he keeps his desk up? His penis.
Right. So I have an article here. We're gonna just read through this real quick, and it's discussion. Consequence.net says moshing, the art and consequences of one of the most celebrated concert dance forms, breaking down the history, anatomy, and art of moshing. All right.
Oh, consequences. That used to be consequence of sound, I imagine.
Maybe. When the brutal reality of the global pandemic began to set in last year, this was 2021.
2021.
Yes. Many concert goers felt a foreboding sense of doom. Would the experience of live music ever be the same? The fear was rooted in the fact that being shoulder to shoulder at a venue or a festival had been deemed too risky. Even from a baseline level, being that close to strangers could be the reason you test positive for COVID the next week. Yeah. But there's an even deeper facet of the concert experience that was put in jeopardy: moshing. At its best, moshing is a visceral and collective experience, a physical way to match the energy of the music you're witnessing. I would agree with that, with the feeling that it gives you. When done right and safely, there is a willful exchange of bodily autonomy in the mosh pit. It's a relinquishing of certain amount of control of your of where your body goes and moves. A step into chaos and pushing and pulling motion that mirrors the intensity of what's happening on stage. At its best, there should be a feeling of respect in the pit Everyone is there for a similar reason, to enjoy live music in a visceral and cathartic way. I think that's what I was saying, right, Jesse? That's pretty much the, how I was putting it.
Yeah.
I tend to kind of just go with the music. I kind of dance to my own rhythm, and I let myself be a little loose, and
which is wrong because you're white.
And shut up. And I kind of move where the crowd takes me. I try not to resist too much, because that's how you get hurt. At its worst, however, moshing can be, of course, deeply harmful. It's an easy way to pick up some sort of injury. Also have had that happen, large or small. And those who throw and receive fists in the pit can sometimes walk away with a bloody nose. I've had those, or more. The very concept of bodies smashing together like pinballs is dangerous to our fragile frames. Even beyond physical injuries is a danger, far more sinister violation. The recent HBO documentary on Woodstock 99 outlines this concept in a devastating way, bringing up the fact that women were repeatedly assaulted and violated in the pent-up, male-dominated crowds, and the anonymity of a concert allows for lack of accountability and personal responsibility. All right, let me stop there. They're talking specifically about the broads who would do crowd surfing and be molested by everyone.
And get felt up by everybody.
Yeah, it was we're only going to hold you up by your boobs. Because I will tell you that doesn't happen if you're just skanking around the pit. If you're skipping and dancing and grooving and skanking, there's no way to get particularly molested while you're in the pit. I mean, you might get fucking you might get punched.
And if you do, somebody's gonna punch that guy, right?
Yeah, no.
Usually.
If a girl is fucking in the pit, there's generally a sense of don't hit her too hard. She's a dainty girl. And everyone's just sort of giving her a little bit of space. She might get jostled a bit. Funny story. Again, going back to the Clutch show, a white girl there for the first time, white, blonde girl, young. And she's like, I would like to experience the mosh pit. Would someone please push me? And of course, I then went back to high school and was like, I'm going to push her to Beijing.
You're I hate you, Dad's porn collection.
And I try you again. And he went out of Janice Landing. No, I gave her a jostle. I gave her a little, an exciting little push. And she was like, oh boy. And she banged into me and I banged into her. And I was like, I feel dirty. And I've been in threesomes. But
Paris is so beautiful.
She was like, that was exciting. Thank you for that. And I'm just like, that's great. Please get the fuck away from me. But yeah, a lot of it's like that. A girl gets in the pit, people will pretty much give her a wide berth and respect and not run her the fuck over like Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth at the main event.
You know what Ice-T said that one time, right?
There's a bitch in the pit.
There it is.
It's in the pit. I thought you were going to say KKK bitch.
No.
Oh, I don't remember that song. I just remember there's a bitch in the pit because it tickled me so much.
Yeah. However, if you're crowd surfing, yeah, your hands are going in your pants, up your shirt, in your nostrils, up your gut, it's just everywhere.
Woodstock 99 was not a good example of
humanity. The absolute worst people doing the worst things. It was
Limp Bizkit fans.
I honestly, you would have thought the devil set this up to claim souls because that's all that showed up. All right. So watching the documentary, it's clear this behavior went directly against the peaceful mission of the original Woodstock. Yeah, no shit. And that using a mosh pit as an arena for debauchery is an act of cowardice. What's more, it went against the ethos of punk and the reason moshing exists in the first place. Moshing is a style, and here's the meat of this. Moshing is a style of dance is believed to have originated roughly between 1976 and 1980 in Orange County, California, Washington, D.C., and at punk shows in England. It's said to have been preceded by pogoing, Jesse, a style of dance that sees the crowd jumping up and down, arms tight against their sides, almost like a box of pens being shaken. Pogoing was pioneered by the Sex Pistols bassist Sid Vicious in the early days of the UK's punk scene. I believe I talked about all that.
Before he broke his leg.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, crowds were engaging in slam dancing at Black Flag and Fear concerts taking place in tightly packed punk venues in Southern California. The term moshing itself is attributed to none other than HR of the Washington, D.C. hardcore pioneers, Bad Brains, who commands his audience to mash. But in his Jamaican accent, this was eventually misinterpreted to be mosh.
Oh, okay.
Oh!
Yeah, nice.
That
What the fuck?
That was an ad. I don't have ad blocker.
Is that why you had the robot sex doll showing up on the side there for your Temu?
Yes. As the vibrant world of punk began to attract more and more concert goers, the crowds were eager to participate in the energy of the show. It's interesting to consider that moshing wasn't practiced by crowds before punk originated, even though acts like The Doors, Jefferson Airplane, and other psychedelic powerhouses of the late 60s played rowdy, highly energetic, and unorthodox concerts. There was still an established concert etiquette that wouldn't be broken until punk's arrival. That tracks.
Surprise.
Punk originated as a way of rejecting... Jesse, this should sound familiar to you. Punk originated as a way of rejecting conformity and etiquette, of discarding the capitalistic sheen of contemporary rock and pop for a more visceral, raw experience, hence the rejection of what normal concert behavior was supposed to be. Yes, punk's do-it-yourself origins instilled a sense of pride and respect for the people who made it happen, for the anti-establishment crowd and the independent, politically fueled agenda on display. The punk scene began as a predominantly white male medium. The scene shifted quickly throughout the late 70s and early 80s to include more people of color like Brad Brains and eventually more women. Bikini Kill and other Riot Girl acts, signifying that an inclusive ethos was much of the punk music as rejecting authority. Moshing was a response, Jesse Starcher of the Screaming Boy podcast, to the aggression of the sound and the rejection of conformity and tradition, but it was also a way of bringing people together under a common identity, which is my problem with what happened at the Hatebreed show, which is a bunch of guys, and I don't want to be too hard on them because they were decent fellas, and it's not like there was a huge violent problem that arose out of it. But I still left the show thinking, and I was talking to Abby about this, people went to other shows, saw people doing things like the gorilla and pick up change, and was like, oh, that's what you have to do with these shows. Right. And then it becomes like Richard Simmons fucking aerobics, where it's like, it's like, well, this is the expectation. This is the cultural expectation and behavior, what we're supposed to be doing. Right. This is what we're going to do. Whether or not it makes any fucking sense in the actual venue at the time or that it goes with the music seems to be irrelevant. And that's what hurts me, Jesse. That's what hurts me about modern moshing is that we're not...
There ain't no soul. There's no soul.
There's no rhythm.
No soul,
people are not reacting organically to the environment or the art being presented. They are doing a prescribed set of movements that they saw somebody else do at a concert, and they want to feel like they belong. And that hurts me. And that hurts the scene.
Start humping the air. They should start doing that, the doggy style.
Yeah, I could get along with that.
I'm sure you do.
Dude, when I go in the pit, it's amazing I have him in fucking stab. I will literally grab Jesse Starcher and scream in his face if I'm that amped up about a song. If I'm not as amped up, I'll just kind of dance and skank and groove and kind of be in place because I don't really need to be banging into people. If I get banged into, I don't really care. I'm a big fatty. I can absorb it. It's like my wife's tits. But ex-wife's. I don't need to fucking go out of my way to ram my shoulder, which is the other funny thing that happens is you'll have a guy meet eyes with you romantically and he'll look stargazingly into your eyes and he'll be like, eh? And for the people listening to this on audio only, I'm pointing to my shoulder. The expectation is we're supposed to rams in a field bang into each other's shoulder first. Yeah. It's like fucking Planet of the Apes and that shit. And it hurts me, Jesse. It hurts me.
Yeah, man. That seems like, just like you said, there's no I don't know. You want to do it for the feeling. You want to do it because you feel like it, not because you are expected to.
Not just for the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
Do it because you're supposed to, feel the music in you that makes you want to do this.
Rhythm
but yeah, man.
Catch you.
Right.
Which is why one of the few times that I ever wanted to, two times I ever wanted to get into a pit. Once I actually did was during Evisceration Plague by Cannibal Corpse when I saw them in 2017. There's a whole line of dudes in the middle of the pit, and I just joined in on them. We're all just fucking stomping our feet and headbanging to the beat of the song. But the only other time was when Obituary played Slowly We Ride. And I don't know if you've ever heard that song, but it's 45 seconds, kind of slow at the beginning, and then it fucking speeds up, goes triple the speed. And every time I hear it, I'm just I want to fucking hit somebody. I just want to get into the fucking pit and just like I said, the pit for me is everybody's running into each other because that's what I was told.
And the other thing is you want to feel something Also, and I think that's a lot of what's going on there is that you feel the music, you feel what's going on, plus you want to get in there and you want to feel what everybody else. It is a real kind of intimate thing when you look at it.
When everyone is responding organically to the music, it's an amazing, dynamic, energetic experience. When everyone is doing a prescribed set of motions that they saw in a video or they saw at a previous show, and we're like, okay, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. It's fun. It sucks the lifeblood out of the scene, because whether it's hardcore punk, heavy metal, goth, whatever, it's about it. Music and art is about rejecting conformity. It's about, standing in the face of the norm and challenging it. I was telling another girlfriend, Sarah, this, like, the whole thing with like my podcast is to have conversations and examine things and talk about it and have debates and good discussion and really challenge what we see as sort of accepted practices of culture and in society. And what bothers me about a lot of this is how it is that you have these really vibrant arenas of counterculture that are so completely subsumed by mainstream, and then it just becomes expressions of normalization, expressions of normity.
That's why you wear a suit to the death metal show.
Okay, you hipster douchebag.
I like Coop's point there.
Except that he was the only one. I guarantee you some other asshole did it too.
No, I did not see. I did see two. I think they were Russian prostitutes. They looked like they were thin. They had kind of like that bob cut, and they were wearing fucking like fur jackets.
20-some
Russian prostitutes.
20-some odd years ago, my personal hero, some broad, showed up to a goth club in just like black tape over her boobs and a mini skirt. And I was like, well, I'll never see that again. That's impressive. That girl's counterculture. That girl's awesome. A statement. Do you know how many girls I've seen do that since then? Somehow the word got out.
Well, yeah, because one person got away with it, and then everybody's like, "Oh, that's kind of cool. And I want to do that."
They saw her do it, and like, well, now I got to do it too. And now it's not counter. Now it's not cool anymore. Now it's like,
what if the next death metal show I go to, it looks like a business meeting?
I will hurt you personally.
I've been told I look like a villain, and it tickles the shit out of me.
What would the mosh pit look like at that show?
All I know is you wouldn't hear the music; you just hear just people ripping their fucking jackets. They're trying to fucking throw an elbow, and you just fucking tear your jacket to shreds.
Scuffing my fucking duck shoes. All right, that's all I wanted to whine about with them. I'm not gonna read the rest of the article. People want to check it. It's consequence.net. I'll have it linked in the show description. But I do think that we have come full circle with this to where moshing is no longer counterculture. It is no longer an expression of someone's feelings and energies, emotions. It is not in any way standing up in the face of normalcy. It is the normalcy. Yeah. And it bothers me to the will I not do it? Nah, I don't know. I mean, I still very much like concerts are my happy place, which is why I spend so much money on them and I go as often as I do. Being in the mosh pit, it's funny. I was having a conversation with my daughter on the way home tonight, and I was like, you asked me a little ways back to stop yelling, to talk to your brother, stop getting so angry. And I was like, and I've worked really hard at that, but you gotta meet me. You gotta meet me halfway, and you gotta talk to me and tell me what's going on in your world. And I promise to not yell about it. And it's a lot. It's a lot to people. It's a lot to. It's like an autistic person. It's a lot to people. It's a lot to keep your mask on. It's a lot to keep your mask on in the world. It's a lot to go through your job and be around your family, especially mine these days, and be in social situations and keep your shit together. And it's to the point we just want to go home and like bite the nearest wall. And the mosh pit is a place where I go where I don't have to mask anymore. I don't have to do all of those controls to keep myself, social contracting. I can just let loose and let the energy out and be my most authentic self. It tells you a lot about me that my most authentic self is like, raging out and smashing into things. But it is what it is. And I don't even feel like, and so like, there's a part of me that still longs for that, still craves it. But then there's another part of me that's just like, it's so lame now. I don't know if I want to be here anymore. And so it's like, it was a very mixed feeling I was having at Hatebreed, where I was like, on the one hand, these are supposed to be my people. On the other hand, you're all fucking Jesse's sex robot. I don't get it.
That's every time Nick and I go to we're around wrestling fans. We're like, God, I hate other wrestling fans.
Right.
They're such fucking marks. They really are. Which I did, by the way. I had a finger up because I got to ask, because I feel like this is a good nightcap to the end of this.
Yeah.
What's the craziest mosh pit y'all have seen? I feel like Mark should start.
Okay. I would say the 3 most violent pits I've ever been in, to where I was in danger. I'm in danger.
I'm in danger.
Yeah, I feared for my life, and I may have been. I know at one of these I got knocked unconscious. But I would say anytime I've been in a Slayer pit,
God,
both times I saw Ministry and was in the pit. But the one where I got knocked unconscious was at a hardcore show. I saw Tripface. Tripface opened up for Earth Crisis.
Ooh, I like some Earth Crisis.
Yeah, one of the kids in the pit, one of these lanky motherfuckers, just fucking gorillaing everybody, was wearing an Earth Crisis shirt, so I didn't want to beat him up too badly. But I will tell you, I got fucking kicked at a Tripface show, and the next thing I knew, people were trying to wake me up in the bathroom.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I missed a part of the show because I was in La La Land.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was like actually Rick from 25 to Life who did like a spin kick, and I was like, "Oh no!" before I lost consciousness. So yes, Tripface, Slayer, and Ministry.
What about you, Jesse? Any crazy pits?
No, I mean, probably the first time that I had ever noticed that, oh man, there's some stuff going on up there. What is going on up there? Why are these guys bumping into us? It was
at that time, Jesse also didn't know how restaurants worked.
Anyway.
Yeah, don't bring him to a sex orgy.
No, Jesse will be all thumbs.
I thought you were just going to say he wouldn't leave. Me and him are just sitting on the couch being like, so, is there a horn for this? Is there a dinner bell?
Jesse, we're going to need you to leave. We'd like to start fucking now. Let me tell you about my chat GPT.
Please. It was probably at a Clutch show, and Rats hit. When Rats hit, that's when it started to get crazy. But yeah, again, I wasn't anywhere in it. I was near it, and people were running right into us. But I mean, I'm trying to think if I've seen anybody like get hurt. I mean, I've been to Volbeat. I'm sure Volbeat had some Volbeat. By the way, this is my Volbeat at, not my Volbeat hat. It's Volbeat at.
Got it.
My son's like, hey, go get your Volbeat at. I'm like, oh, okay. Anyway. So I know that there were probably some craziness going on there, but yeah, I'll go with Rats Clutch.
So for me, again, Napalm Death and Voivod. Yeah, Napalm Death. Half of the venue turned into a pit. Like it kept growing as the set kept going too. Nice. Like by the end of it, it was taking up half of it, and they were getting pretty violent in that pit. Not gonna lie, lots of running into one another, lots of punching, kicking. It was like a little violent.
Have you ever seen a heavy metal show at like a hockey or a basketball arena where the floor is opened up for the whole pit? Like there's no seats. It's all. Because I saw Pantera. The first time I saw Pantera at the Nassau Coliseum. This is like the third time I've seen them. I saw them once when the Sacred Reich opened up for them. This was my very first concert ever. That was at the Roseland Ballroom. Saw them again with Crowbar, I think it was, at the Roseland Ballroom. And then they got huge on what was the third album, Robert?
Far Beyond Driven.
Yeah, so the Far Beyond Driven album, they were starting to do hockey arenas and basketball arenas. So they played the Nassau Coliseum. I want to say Biohazard opened up for them. Yeah, because I remember Phil Ensemble was like, always respect Biohazard, Tales from the Hard Side, and then they stopped playing it. But I remember like Pantera comes on, and again, I'm standing on the floor of the Nassau Coliseum where the Islanders played hockey once upon a time. And there's a fair amount of people on the floor, and Pantera comes on and they start playing, and the entire fucking floor of a hockey arena turn into a mosh pit. I felt like I was on the battlefield in the Civil War. I didn't know where anyone was coming from. I didn't know what was fucking. I'm like, I'm alone and crowded at the same time. How did this happen? And I was beset by on all sides by people. And I remember at one point, like I was just throwing hands and kicking, and I don't even know if my eyes were open, but I know somebody grabbed me. It was like, it's over. You're good now. I was like, oh, thank God.
You were just like Vietnam. They were moshing in the trees.
Like, yeah, I had a fucking flashback to a war I wasn't in. All right. That is the end of our show. Thank you for joining us here on the Metal Hammer of Doom Jukebox, MHOD Jukebox. That's what we call it. Yesterday, myself and Robert Winfrey reviewed Expendables 4. I've got a couple of more TikToks I pulled out of that, but I threw up one today about Megan Fox and the male gaze. It's quite popular. People are enjoying that. I've played it like a million times for myself, played it for my kids. I was like, oh my God, you got to hear me talk about Megan Fox's tits. It's
they're quite nice by what I hear.
Yeah, too bad you can't act. And then
that's why they kept the paper bags away.
That's it for this week. As far as the the Rattles and Broadcasting Network, this weekend we've got a Long Road to Ruin for the Fantastic Four from a few years ago. That's a re-air. Metal Hammer of Doom Sundays, October 1st. We've got Faith No More, Soul Invictus. Remember when we reviewed that there, Robert Cooper?
I sure do.
Jesse Scott, DC: The New Frontier. Didn't you guys review that on Jeff's show? Were you on that show? Did you review that?
I don't know.
Okay.
He probably we actually did do it on small screeners though with Chris Armstrong. So that is we did do the animated part of it.
Okay.
Yes. Did the comic on my show.
So yeah, so that'll drop on Monday, October 2nd, and then in the evening, myself and Ronnie Adams will be and David Wright will be watching reviewing The Legend of Vox Machina Season 2, and then Damn You Hollywood, because Ronnie can only work Mondays, much like Triple H. We will be reviewing Saw X on Damn You Hollywood on Tuesday. Thursday, October 5th, myself and Sean, we're going to do another director feature. We're looking at Get Out, Us, and Nope. Jordan Peele.
Those are all three solid films.
Yeah, none of which I've seen. So,
really?
Yeah, not seen one. All right, Jesse, go ahead and do your plugs. I'm going to quick go AFK.
Okay.
All right. Happy pooping.
I sent you guys a little something in the chat there. I asked my girlfriend to give us some funny questions on a Cannibal Corpse podcast, and there's about 10 of them there. I'm not going to go through them, but you guys can read those and enjoy them at some point. Yeah, hey, check out the Source Material Comics podcast feed where I talk about comics with some people that come on there. This past Monday, which was yesterday, Chris Armstrong and myself got together for a 90s comic episode of Unspoken Issues. It's always 90s comics over there, where we talked about Bloodstrike versus Supreme. And if you don't know much about Image Comics, where Supreme is like Superman, but with a really bad attitude, and Bloodstrike, which is, I mean, just one of many 90s comic book teams, when they fought, it was a fight, and it was pretty gruesome. It almost extreme. That's right. I think I put that as a hashtag when I put the tweet out there. And prior to that, Mark Radulich and myself got together and talked Lex Luthor, Man of Steel, which was a Brian Azzarello book.
I sent that one to Sarah. She really liked this. She really liked it.
It was a good book, and we had a good discussion about that. So
yeah,
check that out as well. And yeah, I've popped over on Jeff's podcast. I've also popped over on let's see.
Aren't you still on Jeff's podcast? It's still recording, right?
He keeps, like, every time he calls me, I'm at work. And I'm like, Jeff, dude, I'm sorry.
So
like,
Jeff called me. He was like, because he'll call me to like try to like hang out or see what I want to do about a show or whatever. And he was like, hey, I'm going to come up to Tampa. You want to go see a concert? If I like buy tickets for you and one of your partners, and you'll come hang out with me and my daughter, who's 19. Like, will you come see a show? And I'm like, sure. When are you thinking about coming up? He's like, how about this Friday? And I'm like, Shinedown, Papa Roach, and Spirit Box.
Oh boy.
Sure. So guess who I'm going to see those three bands with?
That'll be awesome.
That'll, yeah, I hope your butt is rocked.
You know, I've been listening to a lot of Spirit Box. I didn't realize it was kind of like falling in reverse. I'm like, oh, I like this band more than
yeah. Spirit Box is they're solid. Shine Down, and Papa Roach. You know what you're getting.
Yeah, I'm not unexcited about the show. And then it'll be fun to hang out with Jeff. See if he's just like he is on the show. See if he's like that in real life.
Oh, he is entertaining. Yes, all right, well, yeah, that's about it. That's all I got.
All
right, Robert Cooper, you're banned from plugs because you don't do anything else.
I mean, I don't do anything just because, like, I'm in a throuple, bruh. Except I'm not. But that's really fucking funny that I had one of my managers like, "What the fuck, bro? You in a throuple?"
Jesse, how was your podcast tonight? If the two of them don't stop talking about things besides monogamy, I'm gonna kill myself on the show.
I mean, that's the funny part. Is I was like talking to my sister. She's like, "No, you're into polyamory now." I'm like, she's like, "You're just a monogamous person dating someone that's polyamorous. So you're polyamorous. Congratulations."
Yeah, it's like COVID. You catch it if you stand next to the person. I figured it out. Jesse, Robert Cooper. Come closer.
Figure me out. Okay.
Come away from him. I want to whisper this to you.
All right.
Jesse's sick of us talking about our kinky BDSM lifestyles on this show for the last year and a half. And he's like, I need to, but he doesn't want to leave the show because he likes us. He likes what we're doing, but he doesn't like that we're doing this. He feels left out. So he's like, I can't actually be non-monogamous. So instead, I'll cheat on my wife with ChatGPT, and then I too can talk about ethical non-monogamy with a robot.
ChatGPT, what would you do to me?
Hold on just a second.
He's gonna fuck me up now because I've now pissed him off, and now he's gonna be
it's important to approach.
Oh, I just saw that. He's just like, let me tell you, girl.
It's important to approach a conversation about topics like polyamory with empathy and respect for your friend's perspective, even if you don't personally agree with or like the topic. Here are some tips to how to handle the situation. Listen and understand. I think I've been doing that. Be respectful. Can confirm. Express your own feelings. Have done so. Set boundaries. I might have to start doing that.
Yeah, we're all over you, Jesse. There's no boundaries here.
Yeah, no, we have done the dog pile in the pit.
Yeah, Jesse has been at the bottom of an old screw pile on. All right, now that Jesse has personally shamed me yet again, it's time to end the show. Be well, be safe, and behave.